we live?
See, we're not live on, what the heck? You guys, hi friends. This is...
Wait, are there friends or not?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't look like there's friends on Instagram. We might have to do this again.
I'm going to sip my tea and try not to...
Stream URL. Copy and paste the stream key into your streaming software.
We tested this, friends.
We did. Oh.
Yeah. Great. Oh, wait. Okay. We got to do something about that. Okay.
There we go.
Woo. All right, friends. Okay. That was an exciting beginning. I should have just riffed. because now our telethon began with a little bit of indecision, a little uncertainty.
All right. So the first thing we would like to know,
which is what,
is anybody here? So please chat in the chat if you are here, and
tell us
so that we can know that this is actually working.
Tell us what platform you're on. Yes. Yes.
Our friends, our friends on computers elsewhere.
Yeah.
Becky and
do you mean
Chloe
our guests waiting in the wings?
Our guests waiting in the wings.
Yes.
Might be able to check to see if we're live on their phones or elsewhere.
I see three eyeballs.
Three people.
I don't know what platform that is, but talk to us, friends. I'm on Instagram, but we don't see anything. Can't see you on Instagram. Robbie, something went wrong.
Go live.
Oh, did you not? Now, can you see
are
us?
We live?
Can you see us on Instagram now, friends?
Well, this is Riff, Matthew. Riff.
Oh, Riff.
Entertain other people while we are seeing.
Okay. Good. All right. Yes, good. I see people. I mean, really, I think that we've accomplished half of our goals already. Which was starting the live stream successfully across 3 platforms.
Streaming. Well, I guess we should check. If anybody's on YouTube, please let us know in the chat.
I could get my phone and we could check it that way.
Okay, Shelly Lyon, hello.
Hello, Shelly.
On Facebook.
Oh my gosh.
Brenda, look, we have a
friends.
lion and a lions on here.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Oh, yay.
That's a lot of
wait.
Yeah?
Now we have to get to work. Wait,
this is not your job. You are not the keeper.
3:03. We're already 3 minutes into
You are not the keeper of the agenda.
All right.
I thought about making, what is it called? A schedule for but no. I like to make agendas. Yes. So we're going to go through the agenda. We're going to talk about what's coming up today. The Busload Phase 2 Telethon itinerary. I don't want to reveal anything before the moment needs to be revealed. We are going to start with intro, recap, goals, and stunts. All right. Intro.
You're not showing the whole.
No, I'm gonna do it a little bit.
No, people want to know what's coming. In case they only want to spend 10 minutes with us, then they want to pick the right 10 minutes.
Intro, recap, goals, stunts from 3 to 3:10. Then Chloe Grady, teacher extraordinary, our friend Chloe from Bradley Beach Elementary School in New Jersey. Huzzah. We met her last September. Matthew draws. Friends, I'm going to draw. Robbie doesn't know what I'm going to draw. I printed out some photographs.
I'm kind of excited.
I'm going to draw. Robbie's going to guess. You're going to dress. Everybody's going to be wrong. All right. Then, oh my gosh, at 3:30, we have a special treat. Doctors Sarah Clark DeReza and Nick Garcia of the Washington College Education and Sociology Departments, the leaders in heart and soul of the Busload of Books research team, are going to talk about what they learned, what they did, what they're going to do next, what excites them.
Wow, Matthew, you're good at this.
Well,
you're adding in some extra.
Right. And then energy. From 3:40 to 3:50, if there's any time left, we're going to have a spate of lively and amusing chatter. Robbie Bear is going to be taking the reins on that one. No.
I feel like you've overpromised.
You're going to do it. And then at 3:50 to 4 o'clock, chairman of the board of the Busload of Books, David Hornick, is going to tell us.
We just checked in with him. He's wandering around the streets of New York. Yeah. So hopefully it'll work.
He is going to tell us why in the world he decided to support us when there are far better things he could have done with his time and resources. All right. Then at 4 o'clock, there's going to be a little bit of razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle.
Yeah. Razzle dazzle. Mississippi Crew at 4:10 to 4:20. We have a very special treat. Becky Neiman, librarian at North Pike Elementary School, and one of North Pike's students, Lindsay Bird, is going to be there to tell you about our day with them in Mississippi. It was one of our very favorite days of the tour. I can't wait to hear about it from their perspective. At 4:20, if you haven't already thrown eggs at the screen, I'm going to draw again. I have 2 pictures printed out over here, and I'm going to draw both of them in the course of the next 2 hours. At 4:30, Julie Gagney from Ferguson, Missouri Central Primary School. Her Instagram handle is Jules Rules, with an exclamation point. I'm not sure, but there should be an exclamation point because she is awesome, and I can't wait to hear what she has to say. And then at 4:40, like basically for the last incredible torrent of people joining our Patreon, I can't wait. It's been put on the itinerary. It's going to happen. Count on it, friends. That's how it works. That's how it's going to go. And then, all right, let's talk about stunts. Friends, it's important in any telethon to have
I don't think
something to look forward
prizes.
to. Some prizes? No,
we don't have any prizes.
It's punishments.
Oh.
It's things that we have to do if the people out there
Yes.
rise up
Is that
in
normal for
collective. I
telethons?
don't know, Robbie.
I
That
think
doesn't matter.
yeah.
Do we do things the normal way or not?
No.
As you might know, of late, Robbie has expressed her aversion to egg whites. She does not like them.
They're gross, guys.
She does not like them cooked. She does not like them. She likes them even less uncooked. So
yeah.
if we meet our
but
first,
they're gross cooked too. Sorry.
if we meet our first goal, which is to get 100 Patreon
subscribers,
we're pretty close already, friends.
Yeah.
We are pushing 80 already. So if we just get like 21 more people joining our Patreon in the next 2 hours, Robbie and I are going to take this egg. We are going to separate out the yolk and the egg, and Robbie Bear is going to consume the egg white Rocky style. She is going and she's going to like it. She's going to like it.
I'm already.
You're going to be
my
good. You're
throat
good.
is already closing
Friends,
up,
if
and
you
I'm
want to
having
see
a
this
gag
happen,
reflex already.
all you have to do is encourage yourself and several friends to join our Patreon. There's a free option. You don't even have to spend any money if you don't want to. Of course, we would love it if you became a paying member, but not even necessary to see Robbie eat the white part of this egg. Of course, in an act of stunning solidarity, will eat the yolk. I have 2 bowls.
I was going to say, where are we going to put these eggs? Oh, wait, there's a bowl right over there.
There's a bowl.
I just have detritus bowls.
This is an empty nut bowl. We will use the empty nut bowl to create the separation needed to complete this stunt. If you, friends, Robbie, can you put the thing up? If people right now want to go over to Patreon and get started, I know you created some buttons. Let's pull the buttons out here.
Bing.
You can scan that QR code, or you can just go.
You can
just go to Patreon.com/Robbie and Matthew.
No, I have a wait.
Patreon.com/Robbie and Matthew. It's very straightforward.
Wait.
I'm not going to wait. I'm going to keep going. Friends.
There we go.
All right. We have a loftier dream. We have a wider goal. We have a longer bridge. We have a higher mountain. We have a deeper, wider chasm to cross.
What is that?
Friends, if we happen to blow everyone's mind and get all the way to 150 Patreon subscribers in the next 2 hours, we are going to have Jasper Swanson come in here and fill this pie plate and this pie plate with both original and extra creamy whipped product.
Extra creamy?
Well, I don't know. Maybe Jasper's going to choose. You maybe would have some opinions about who gets extra creamy and who does not. What I'm saying, friends, this is going to happen if we get all the way to 150. Do I think it's going to happen?
Did you say that we were going to get them in our faces?
In our faces. He is going to take his little hands. He's going to smash them into our faces. He can roll it around. He can get it on my glasses.
I always love that when that happens.
I don't love that at all. I don't like being sticky. If you don't know this thing about me, I don't like being sticky.
I love seeing it happen to other people.
I don't like getting I'm going to put the egg back in its little egg conveyor. It's going to be over here getting nice and warm. I bet warm egg whites are even better.
Worse.
All right. So, friends. Okay. That's that. I mean, there's not really a lot of time for recap or looking forward. I'm Matthew Swanson.
I'm Robbie Bear.
We are Matthew and Robbie. Robbie and Matthew, excuse me. We are Robbie and Matthew.
Okay.
We spent last year on a great adventure called the Busload of Books Tour. We and our 4 children and 1.5 dogs. We started with 1 dog. We ended with 2. If you average that out, 1.5 dogs.
1.5 dogs over the course of the trip.
Drove 34,000 miles over the course of 50 weeks. We were gone for almost a year. We visited one public elementary school in every U.S. state. We gave away 25,000 copies of our own books with a partnership with First Book and Build-A-Bear Foundation. We gave away another 125,000 books by other creators to other Title I educators across the country. Build-A-Bear purchased a teddy bear, a reading buddy for every single student we met on the year, 25,000 bears. We had a year of adventure. We had a year
the best
of excitement.
The best.
We made 25,000 friends. Jasper went to kindergarten in every single state. It was a great year. We are going to continue the adventure next year.
Yes.
And that is why we're here today.
Yes.
Because we want to tell you about it.
Yes.
We want to look back on what happened last year.
But we also want to look forward.
We're going to look forward. And in order to look forward, one of the things we need to do is bring some people along with us. We want you to join us on our adventure. We want you to throw your support behind us. We're going to talk more about how to do that as we go on. But now we are going to push a button over here and we are going to bring to the screen the wonderful, the fabulous, the fantastic Chloe Grady. Oh my goodness. I love Chloe so much. Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you.
I want to set the stage.
Yes.
We got about
Here, squeeze in a little bit.
Squeeze in a little bit more. Okay.
There we go.
So we sent out applications almost 2 years ago now. 2 years ago now.
Yes.
To people all over the country, and we got applications from lots of schools. There was one school that
4
that
applicants.
didn't apply once,
Yeah.
twice, 3
We
times.
were like, wow, these guys really want to be on
4
this
times.
tour.
Needless to say,
Yeah.
you got our attention, Chloe Grady.
Yes.
So tell us about the school where you worked when we met you, and tell us a little bit about the experience from your end of what it was like having a visit from Busload of Books.
Yeah, so I mean, I remember getting your email during my lunch, and I ran across the hall to my coworker's room, and I said, do we think like admin would let me send this out to the staff and beg for them to apply? And admin said, go for it. So that's why you got so many emails.
Yes.
And I was actually got the letter saying you were coming to our school while watching my friend run the Philadelphia Marathon. And I was more excited about winning. I was freaking out. And just the excitement. I mean, you guys came to us in the very beginning of the school year. So
right.
We had just a short amount of time to get the students hyped up, get the books out to them, and kind of explain what was happening. But I think that short window of excitement really just got them excited, and it set a tone for the whole rest of the year. The students were reading your books. They were excited. They were interested in learning where you were. Some teachers, myself included, just would like check in and say, okay, we're in this state, they're in this state today. We're going to learn about it. And just fun facts of your travels. And even when you had Raina Tagelmeyer on and different authors, the students they thought they like had some celebrity, like Hollywood connection because you had some other favorite authors on. So it just brought so much joy.
It brought us a lot of joy. I remember very well our presentation in your school. You have this very old school,
awesome,
right?
Beautiful old school auditorium that your music teacher had to work very hard to like get all the pieces running.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The music teachers and the gym teachers tend to be the audio visual
we would be lost without
yes.
them. Absolutely. So Chloe, something that you told us when we were having a conversation with you leading up to this telethon is that you no longer work for Bradley Beach Elementary School, which breaks my heart because it was clear to me how much your students loved you and how much your colleagues loved you. And so tell us what happened, if you don't mind. And
right. So over my time at Bradley Beach, unfortunately, enrollment had gone down so much, and it is a Title I school. So a lot of it is based on funding, and we need test scores and numbers to get a certain amount of funding. And unfortunately, it's a small beach town, and a lot of the housing was kind of being taken over for more commercial or just like second homes. So that was pushing out some of the clientele, unfortunately. And our enrollment had just gone down so much that most of the grades had to downsize just to one teacher. So myself and my coworker were cut due to budget at the end of the year, and we were blindsided. It hurt. It just hurt. We knew it was coming because of enrollment, so it was always on the back of our brains. But I think what hurt most was just you saw our staff. It was a great staff, and the kids just mean so much. So it hurt, but we knew those kids are in safe hands. We know they're in great hands with our educators, and the students who had to move out of district were moving into other Title I districts who also just had great schools, great support systems, and a lot of them we still keep in touch. There was one student, he wore a blazer. I don't know if you remember.
I do. He dressed up for our visit. We were very touched.
Yes, he unfortunately also had to move out of district for his 8th grade year. He's already in 8th grade, believe it or not. So it kind of impacts the whole community more than just myself as an educator. It impacts these students and just the resources. And you saw our school is so small. Each grade is about like 20, was at that time about 20 students. So the attention that those kids got was something that they may not find when they go to another school.
Yeah. So where are you working now? I believe you found another teaching job.
Yes, I'm in another school that is in a very affluent community. So the funds are there, and kind of on an educator's kind of side of it, the resources are there for the students. So I'm not putting that out of my own budget, which I always kind of accepted working in Title I schools, and I thought most teachers do that. But when I've kind of, especially now that it's tax season, looking at what I have spent this year versus last year, it's kind of crazy. It's not even just a few hundreds, it's like $400 to $600 that is not spent. So my heart goes out to everyone in Title I schools who are kind of putting their own money out there and only getting so little of it back financially.
This is the case in our district as well, where we had a big supplies budget cut this year. So teachers are, because teachers aren't going to let the kids just sit there and not have what they need. Your hearts are in the kids' court. I'm speaking about all of the Title I teachers we've met. And so, you have a salary that is already probably not what it should be. And it gets further depleted by the fact that you are doing the right thing for the kids because the funding's not there on the institutional level to do it for them. So thank you. What other differences can you note about the two different environments? You don't need to, I mean, I'm just curious to know. Not a lot of educators maybe have the experience of teaching in Title I and non-Title I. So what?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we are a very my new district's a very high performing district. So there is the pressure on state testing and to do well academically. But on the teacher end, it's the pressure for the students to do well. While at Bradley Beach, those test scores meant funding. So while we wanted our students to do well, we knew they could do well. It also, in the back of our mind, well, better scores, better funding, and it in the long run. My new school has a library, which you guys know we did not have a library at Bradley Beach. So that impacts it. So while students would want a new graphic novel or a new book in Bradley Beach, my heart would break. So I'd say, okay, let me go buy one. But that's not the case. My students now, they can just go down to the library. And I think though the students at Bradley Beach are grateful for that. And that really makes a stronger connection. They are so grateful for their teachers. And while I'm not there anymore, I still keep in contact with so many of the students and the coworkers.
That's so great.
Yeah.
What about the students themselves? Can you draw any differences between what they bring to school with them, the challenges they might have in their own lives, and how that impacts the classroom?
Yeah, I mean, when they come to school, they have that attention to academics, whether it's a pressure on themselves to do well, or they can just focus on academics, because when they go home, they have that typical teen life where they go home, they have sports, they have clubs, or they're just hanging out with friends. While a lot of the students in Bradley Beach and in other Title I schools that I've worked at, they go home and they are caring for siblings. They're going to work with their parents. They don't have access to Wi-Fi or computer. So homework is non-existent or paper versions. And you worry about all your students as a teacher, whether they're in an affluent community or in a Title I district where there's challenges. But you have more of a fear or a worry when you send your students home because you don't know what they're going home to. So you lose that, which for my own mental health is nice, but I'm still worrying about my students from Bradley Beach. So that it doesn't go away, but it's a different kind of worry.
I still remember some of your students very specifically. We had the pleasure of having lunch with a small group of them, and you got fortune cookies for them. I think some of them hadn't experienced fortune cookies before. So we went around the room together and we read our fortunes, and they were so excited. And some of the fortunes were so strange. We had to sort of figure out what they meant, but we had lunch with them and we got hugs, and Robbie signed their books. And boy, they sure left an impression on us.
So when you sent the teddy bears, like, some have never even heard of Build-A-Bear because, one, there's not many malls near Bradley Beach, and two, that's just like an expense that they don't have. And even with spring break coming up, it's kind of like the first spring break in a while where I'm not saying to the students, if you need something over break, reach out. I'm here to help you, because I know my new students are going on vacations or going to different places or just going to a stable, safe household for spring break. So that it's kind of a different season this year.
All right. Well, Chloe, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I'm so glad that you have found yourself in another wonderful school. I'm glad that you're still.
We're very sad. We love Bradley Beach so much. Yep. And you're such a great advocate for your students and such a great presence for them. So
it's really nice to see your face and spend some time with you. And we look forward to seeing you in person when we go through New Jersey sometime. But thank you for taking some time today to talk to us and share your experience. Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chloe.
Bye, Chloe.
Yay. All right, now I have to
turn Chloe off, and now we're back to Robbie and Matthew, and I believe next on the schedule. Wait, did you want to reflect a little bit?
I just want to reflect for a second. We did this bus tour, and every day was crazy bananas, and we never knew what was going to happen next. And then we came home from the bus tour, and we had so many projects to do. We haven't had any time to reflect. So I suspect that on this chat, I'm gonna start.
You're gonna lose it?
I'm gonna cry a lot.
Are you gonna completely lose it because you haven't?
I almost cried with Chloe just because she's such a good teacher. It's such a loss for that school.
Yeah.
That it makes me sad.
There are a number of teachers who were at their schools last year that are no longer at their schools for a variety of reasons. One of our schools is in threat of being shut down due to district consolidation. Yeah. There is so little stability in Tier 1 environments because funding is so precarious. Numbers can change so much. There's lots of schools in our cohort with large migrant populations. Yeah. And so they go up and down unpredictably, and it affects the number of teachers and the number of aides. And it's very hard for schools to deal with the ever-shifting dynamics. So Robbie might cry.
Yes.
Right now, I'm so focused on this egg that if you joined us late, if we reach our first goal, which is 100 Patreon members, friends, of any level or type, I'm going to eat the egg yolk, and Robbie is going to eat the egg white. I'm going to be much happier than Robbie because I don't care. I will eat the yolk. I'm waiting for it to get nice and warm. It's going to be even more tasty.
I just want to say, Joe Money 2024.
Of course we remember you.
From Franklin is asking if we remember you.
Of course we do.
I mean, I don't think your name is Joe Money.
But... I mean, that's... I don't know if you should make that assumption. Friends.
Well, I know that we didn't meet anybody named Joe Money.
I am going to now draw. That is what I'm going to do because the agenda says Matthew draws. Why am I drawing, friends? Why am I drawing? Why am I drawing? Because I am a great, underappreciated, misunderstood, unskilled portrait artist, and the world needs more of this. And also because one of the things that you will get when you join our Patreon is access to a flood of my celebrity portraiture. So today I have carefully selected and printed out 2 celebrities who are going to be honored by my pen. Robbie, I need a pen to honor the celebrities. And you did? Okay. Is it this very elegant pen? Look at this pen. Look at this. It is very elegant. Robbie, you need to come over here, I think.
I know. I'm trying to.
Okay. All right. Friends, who wants to, I can't give you any clues. I was going to give you a clue. I'm not going to give you a clue. I'm going to start drawing. Robbie, I'm going to create a barrier. How are you going to film me but not know who I'm drawing? That's going to be very challenging.
I'm gonna. Okay,
so, friends,
let's try this.
Our goals. Let us talk briefly about our goals. Our goals for this.
Wait,
what's happening?
You back off again.
Yes, please.
Wandering around.
Our goals for this telethon, friends, are to increase our community on Patreon. Patreon is a platform that allows you to support the creators you love by joining for free, which just lets you have access to some of the posts, or becoming a paying member, which in our case, no matter what your level or tier is in terms of a monthly contribution, you get access to the same content. The thing I'm most excited about in our Patreon community is that every Sunday night at 7 o'clock Eastern time, Robbie and I are going to get on a live stream and we're going to hang out with whatever members want to come along and hang out. We're going to we're going to have some razzle dazzle. We're going to have some jokes.
You keep promising razzle dazzle.
If we enjoy our eggs, this might become a weekly practice. It might become a weekly practice. It could become a weekly practice. I'm not promising. I'm just saying that it could.
Somebody just showed up.
What's happening here? Jasper. Oh, you want to tell people what's going to happen? Friends, if we meet our first goal of 100 followers by the end of this 2 hours, we will eat that raw egg. If we meet our second goal, which is 150, Jasper, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do with that?
What are you going to do with that?
There's whipped cream, and he's going to put it in both of these.
No, you're going to put it in there. Oh. You're going to fill it up, and then what are you going to do with it? Are we going to eat it together in a very civilized way?
Nope.
Wait. Oh, right there, right in my face. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody. Do you want to see that? Nobody wants to see that.
Oh, right.
So Jasper, we have extra creamy and regular. Who's going to get extra creamy and who's going to get regular? Who gets extra creamy? Who's going to get regular? You have time to think about it, okay?
Wait, I already know.
You already know.
Who gets extra creamy?
Mama cookies creamy.
Okay,
Thank
Mama.
you.
Mama,
That's
is that
what
a
I
compliment?
wanted.
Is that a compliment?
That's
I'm
what
not
I
sure.
wanted.
All right, so now you know what the goals are, friends. But Patreon, here's the thing about Patreon. We're going to have a weekly hangout. I'm going to give you access to my drawings, which I'm going to show you right now, and you're going to see why everybody wants access to my drawings. Robbie's going to do posts about the illustration process. I'm going to do posts about my writing. We're going to just let you behind the hood, under the hood, behind the screen.
Behind the screen.
We want to share things with you that we don't necessarily aren't able to share on the social media.
I bumped that with my hand.
So I don't know how you're going to not see this. All right.
I'm going to focus on this.
Okay. All right.
You're going to have to.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
friends,
hold on.
it is time for Matthew to draw.
Okay.
So a lot of pressure here. Okay.
Can I dump his face while he draws?
Can you do what?
Dump his face while he
No,
draws?
Jasper, I love you, and I want you to come back a little bit later when we're ready for the.
Okay, so I would like to see in the chat people guessing who Matthew is drawing.
Well,
That's
I haven't given them a lot of clues
That's the whole
yet.
delight of Matthew draws.
Let's be now. You can't put it right in front of me.
That's what's happening.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a person with very well defined pupils.
Yeah, is that what you're taking from it so far?
Oh, here you know what I can do? I'm going to turn my camera off so that everybody can. I guess, yes. You need to be able to hear me. Sorry.
I think hearing is good.
Wow, Matthew, this is quite a sophisticated drawing.
No one ever knows what's going to happen when Matthew draws.
No.
Sometimes it's a little. But is anyone going to be able to guess who I'm drawing?
I don't know. Your hand is kind of in the way.
Well, I can't move my hand while I'm drawing.
I'm trying really hard. There we go. Oh.
Did I throw you off a little bit?
Did
you think that there was like a spike coming out of the top of this person's head?
This is pretty good, man.
You are making it very difficult for Matthew to draw with
wait.
your placement of the camera.
I'm sorry. You guys, you have no idea how many things I'm doing right now.
Oh, you are doing a lot of things. Uh-oh, that has to line up with the neck. Okay.
Hello, Christina. Christina just joined on. Hopefully, can you guys hear me again? I got some notes that I turned our camera off.
We got some clavicle going here. Oh, I shouldn't say what that is. Okay. There's like
hopefully everyone has a clavicle. No matter who you're drawing, hopefully they have a clavicle.
Are there any guesses?
No guesses.
None?
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Hey.
I mean, she is a beautiful lady.
That's not who it is?
And I'm glad that you think that I'm drawing a woman. Sometimes it's hard to tell what I'm doing.
The girl from Twilight?
No. Kristen Stewart, that girl?
Jill Tolbert says, happy birthday to Alden.
Oh, thank you, Jill. It is our daughter Alden's 16th birthday. If we'd been planning a little bit better, it might have been better not to have the what is this called? Telethon on her
now,
birthday.
Matthew, you always
go too far.
Much. You always
no, I'm going to give a little sideburn over here.
Margot Robbie.
No.
That's a good guess, I think.
Do I have to start giving clues? I feel like I've done about as much as I can. The lips are a little too wide, but I feel like if I go too far, I'm going to.
Okay,
all right. So what's happening here?
Why is this so hard?
Okay. What are you trying to do?
Oh, you know what? I should have told this camera to mirror because I can't tell which direction. Okay.
Okay. So
right.
I think I
Angelina
finished.
Jolie.
I think I finished this drawing. Do I start giving clues?
Well, I think those lips indicated that was Angelina Jolie.
Right. The lips got a little out of control. Although in general, what is it? There's a little something. You know what? The eyebrows are a little too high. I think that's probably here. I'm gonna add.
Wait. I don't want to accidentally give away who it is.
Oh, by
Julia Roberts.
That's not helping.
I guess what I'm saying is the lips are deceiving.
Yeah.
Wait, Matthew, can I?
What?
There we go.
Okay.
I just
all right. Okay. All right.
Here we go.
It's not, friends. I didn't get it. I didn't do it. I tried.
I think you.
But
no,
you
didn't.
Is it time to cry?
No,
is it time to?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like I offended this person as much as I offend some others.
Susan thinks that it might be Alden.
It is not Alden.
It is not.
It is not Alden. It is. So
wait.
Yes.
So show us, or should we wait? Let's see.
I don't know.
3:30. It's time to go to the next thing.
We have to go to the next
thing. Do you want
thing.
to reveal who it is?
I'm going to reveal who I was attempting to draw, friends. It is none other than Zendaya.
Beautiful Zendaya.
Let's see. I mean, I feel like it could have been worse. I feel like in my defense, it could have been worse, but I'm a little disappointed that I wasn't able.
A female, so that
it was and I think some of the likenesses were not completely off base. So, friends, it is now time to welcome the one and the only and the other and the only, the head of the Busload of Books research team and chief cruncher of numbers, statistician, super sociologist, major data set expert, my friend Nick, my friend Sarah. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, Robbie just pulled me in close like we're going to have a snuggle.
You're going to have to snuggle too, a little bit.
All right, as best you want to. Friends, it is a pleasure to see you. I'm going to start out with an amusing anecdote to take the pressure off you if you're feeling any pressure. And that is that Robbie and I had absolutely no intention of conducting a major research project when we conceived the Busload of Bookstore. It wasn't on our radar, didn't seem possible. But Robbie, you and Sarah had a little.
I think we just had a little chit chat about what we were doing
at a garden party.
Next door.
Right.
And Sarah was like, "I have some ideas."
There was a literal flashbulb that just went off right next to Sarah's head.
And then she was like, "We need to get together and talk."
And we did.
We did. And we were like, "Yes, you're right. There's so much data that could be collected."
Sarah, why were you intrigued by the idea of our tour? What opportunities did it present to you and the world?
Well, I mean, you're obviously doing something super important. And when we think about research and what needs to get done in terms of research, we always focus on doing important things. But what I found most compelling is that you already had tons of data. You have hundreds of stories, all of these experiences with students and teachers across the country telling you that you had made a difference and that kids were more excited and drawing more and writing more and just really getting bought into the importance of books. But you had never systematically documented that. And why should you? Because that's not your job. Your job is to make the magic happen. And so as a person whose job it is to sort of systematically document these things, we saw a real opportunity. And we know data informs decision-making and that lots of schools and teachers and grant funders and all the sort of folks who are behind the scenes making author visits and book giveaways happen need that quantifiable outcome-based data to make things possible. So we were psyched to see if we could do it.
All right.
And we should say that I don't know if we said this because I was looking at a bunch of buttons.
Okay.
But that you're part of the education department at Washington College, right? So it's not like you're
that's true.
You're a research team that's been hired by by Big Book.
No.
Is there a Big Book?
Who's calling me in the middle of the telethon? Who's calling me in the middle of the telethon? That's not cool.
No. So I'm the chair of the education department here at Washington College, and this is Dr. Nick Garcia. He is a sociologist here at the sociology department in Washington College, and we work with an awesome team of other faculty in education and 3 truly fabulous student researchers. Well, 4 really fabulous student researchers to make this project possible. It takes a lot of work. If you can imagine how big what you're doing is, what we're doing here, it's a little less glamorous, but it's just as big. So many hands.
What are you talking about?
To make it happen.
So we visited 53 schools, and it was not a requirement that students participate in the research, but a number of schools self-elected to do a lot of work to make this happen. They had to figure out how to get permission from the parents so that the students could participate in the surveys. How did you measure, and what were you measuring? I think people would like to know that.
Oh, what didn't we measure? So on the surveys themselves, we have all kinds of tools that teachers, we got feedback from teachers talking about the preparations that they did, about effects on the students after you visited them, on whether or not they read the book. All of that was positive, by the way. And then surveying all these students, including kindergartners in Cran, and we got feedback on their excitement, their attitudes, their behaviors surrounding reading, writing, and drawing. And we're able to look at all of those attitudes and behaviors before you came to visit them, immediately after, and then a month afterwards to see if you had any kind of lasting takeaways. And over again, even administrators were talking about this lasting effect on their students. And sometimes it's these intricate measures. Is there a statistically significant increase in the I wish I could draw more in school score? And sometimes the responses were just about whether or not kids were more excited about books and whether or not there was a sense of school pride. And across the board, this, all positive, but it's nice to be able to quantify this with measurable data, whether it's in numeric forms with me crunching numbers and putting asterisks by them, or if it's the detailed, rich comments that we see repeatedly from the students, the teachers, and the administrators you've worked with.
So for many years, teachers, authors, and illustrators have been doing school visits, and there's always a lot of anecdotal evidence that there's excitement, engagement, creativity, reading, writing, drawing that happens in the wake of these visits, but it's never been measurable, in part because there's never access to such a large group of students to measure. Most author visits are one-off experiences. So our tour represented an opportunity to get a national sample of a purposefully diverse group of schools in terms of sizes and locations, but also demographics. You surveyed the students right before our visit, immediately afterward, and then a month later, right? So there were 3 surveys. So it's just a really rich array of data. Tell us about the data. Where is it going? What's happening? How can people sink their teeth into it? When will it be unleashed upon the world?
Well, there's the easiest, fastest, bestest right now way to get answers to those questions are to check out our blog, which is busloadofbooksresearch.com. I bet Dr. Garcia can pop it into some sort of chat somewhere that you can click along. Ooh. There we have our fabulous student research team keeps that blog updated with everything that comes out in conference presentations and publications. And so you can follow us along there. We're doing the boring academic routes. We're publishing things in journal articles. We're going to academic conferences, but we also worked with Robbie and Matthew to collect some data last year from teachers that we've published in a ready-to-use white paper that looks at the challenges and opportunities that teachers experience when it comes to making author and illustrator visits happen for their classrooms. And that's also available with data all there for you to use on our Busload of Books research blog.
Awesome.
Can you say that URL again?
Yes, maybe. Busloadofbooksresearch.com.
Okay.
All right.
So look what I'm going to do.
What's going to... Oh, look at that.
Whoa.
It's like CNN. This is getting more and more exciting every moment. Okay, so in this first phase, we were able to measure the impact on elementary school student attitudes, reading, writing, and drawing before and after our visit. Those were in-person visits from Robbie and me, and it was the same assemblies across the entire country. In phase 2 of Busload of Books, we're going to have a 2-pronged approach. We're going to be doing 6 in-person visits and 6 virtual visits, which is going to afford us the opportunity to compare the relative impact of an in-person versus virtual visit, all other factors being equal. So what could we learn from that? Why are we excited about that? Are we excited about that? I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
We're super excited.
Okay,
in part because we know that what research wants to do is provide information for people to use to improve their practice. And we know that Busload of Books is a really special thing, and that it was free. And I mean, there were lots of things that make it not replicatable on this giant sort of national scale, right? And so as for us, as a research team, and along with you, right, who knows these things matter, and we want more people to have access to them, testing other versions of these visits that are lower cost, like a virtual version. And if we can see that those virtual versions have good impact on student outcomes, we can argue in favor of those lower cost options for more and more and more students at these sort of historically underfunded schools.
Awesome.
And certainly from the creator end of things, it's much easier for us to do. We could do a bunch of, virtual school visits in the time that it would take us to do a single in-person visit with travel and everything else included, right? So from the author end of things, it's really important to know. I mean, it would be great to know if it has any impact. I feel like, gosh, I can't imagine that it has much of an impact, but maybe it does.
Whoa. Don't underestimate. I'm going to I'm going to speculate
Yes.
that it might have a less impact than an in-person visit, but
I
still
would
significant
imagine.
impact. But
Yeah.
still significant impact.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to
And
guess.
so
All right.
That's still the hypothesis, and we're going to test it.
That's right.
Good.
Excellent.
I like hypotheses.
Science.
But one other thing I want to mention is that we are partnering with our local Kent County Public Schools on a 6-year initiative where we are going to be visiting. There's 3 elementary schools in our district. All of them serve very high need populations. Every fall, we are going to visit a Kent County elementary school, such that in the course of 6 years, we'll visit each twice. Every student in the district will get 2 school visits from us, 2 free books, and we'll also go through the process of having their experiences evaluated by the research team 2 times. And we have the opportunity now to test every year a slightly different modification to the experience. One thing we discussed is adding a parent enrichment program to 1 year to see if that moves the dial in any different way, or maybe supplementing the school visit with a series of follow-up pre-recorded videos that Robbie and I could then share with the community. These are all ways that we can test opportunities to make the school visits more impactful.
We haven't decided, what these different add-ons are going to be. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what pedagogically is useful, but also like practically speaking, what's useful, that we might have a great idea that turns out great, but that the teachers are like, oh my gosh, that was just like way too much, and you can't expect somebody to do that.
Maybe if we eat a raw egg at the end of the assembly, it will impact the students' literacy attitudes.
Please
It's
do not
possible.
suggest such a thing.
I think we need to test it. Sarah, Nick, also maybe pie in the face. Pie in the face is another thing
it's
that
very
could
memorable.
maybe add. Jasper could come with us. We could scale this somehow.
I want to just go ahead and invite all of your author and illustrator friends who would like to know what the impact of these things are. Just weigh in on whether they are willing to eat raw eggs or be pied in the face if it means advancing the cause of
I don't
childhood.
think willingness is what matters. If it moves the dial, they're going to do it. I mean, we're committed. We're committed to the children, to the literacy. I don't know, friends. Anything else that you would like to add, or speculate, or any more hypotheses you'd like to lob at us? Yes, Nick, Dr. Garcia. I see the spark in your eye.
I'm sorry, but I just have to say, you two have the biggest hearts, and you care, and it's so nice that you get these kinds of objective data that talk about your impact, so that you can have this affirmation of your work and how you've touched the lives of students and spurred teachers on to be excited, invigorated. And I know that your big hearts also give you some guilt that you can't be everywhere at once. So I think this kind of virtual alternative, just exploring what it can do, it'll help you feel at ease. I know you can't be everywhere at once, but perhaps there are more opportunities for you and other authors to reach out, even if they can't commit to a year living on a bus with a dozen kids, 15 dogs, and no bathroom.
We're not having any more kids, Nick. That's not the kind of telethon this is.
One project,
Don't
right?
you just what Nick is saying is that if you go on the bus again, you have to bring us and all of our kids with
Okay,
you for
all right,
research
fair
season. So that's where those numbers grow.
They make significantly larger buses. We had a bus. There's a bus twice that long, so we'll see how it goes. Nick, will you join us in the?
I would do that. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Absolutely.
I thought you'd be good for that, Nick. All right. We'll do that on a future
Sarah's
telethon.
much too sensible.
No,
I'm
Sarah-
not going to do that. Can I say one thing? Because I never get to be famous online. I just want to say hi to my mom, who's here.
Is she with us?
She
Hi,
is.
Sarah's mom.
She's one of among your biggest fans. She's certainly my biggest fan. And so,
my gosh.
hi, Margaret Clark. Thank you for joining.
Oh, that's Margaret
That's
Clark.
your mom?
That's your mom.
Does she like all your posts? She likes all your
Yes,
posts.
and I like all of her posts. So, all right, that's great. I'm glad that connection has been made. We love you too. You are not just our colleagues; you are our friends, and we are so grateful to know you, to your service, to the kids, to the research.
And I just want to say,
Yeah.
the extraordinary amount of work and vision that was required for them, they basically turned around, like they just stopped everything that they were doing, and they were like, okay, we're jumping on this bandwagon, and we're gonna like make it as good as it can be. And they put 150% into this project, and they continue to. So also, like, if somebody could please fund the research part of this, please do that.
That would be great.
We'd love for somebody to come forward with some money to fund that. So
We
that
will-
they can travel to conferences and do all the stuff.
We will use the monies to do good things
Yes.
in all ways. So
Yes.
thank you, friends. Thank you, friends. And we'll see you both soon. All right,
Yes.
goodbye.
Everyone.
Take care. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
All right.
Those
You didn't
guys
cry.
Are the best.
They
I
are
didn't
the-
cry.
They are the best.
Because we were talking about data. That's serious stuff.
Data is sometimes quite emotional. Not in this particular case.
It is actually, you know what? Part of the data that they collect is at the end, they got like testimonials, like written.
Yeah.
And read those. And it's just like, crying the whole time.
You know what? It's good stuff. It's
It is
good
good
stuff. This is supposed to be time for a lively and amusing chatter, Robbie.
Yes.
I think we've been pulling
We've
our
been-
lively and
You
amusing
have
chatter.
been, I guess I'd like to say that, Matthew, you've been really pulling your weight.
You know what? Right before the assembly, it's not an assembly.
It's not an
Right before I was like, I'm never going to make it through. We got up super early this
We did.
morning
And
to
we stayed
assemble
up super late.
Alden Swanson's
to
IKEA
paint
bed.
her bedroom.
So, well, you did the painting.
I did the
the
painting. You
assembling.
did the assembly.
We
And
often,
then
you know,
I had to do the cleaning.
But it was
while you
worth it
Finished assembling.
for her audible gasp.
Yes.
She got back from work and she gasped, and it was very delightful. We did scavenger hunt. I digress. This has nothing to do with the chitter chat. Friends, I do need to say,
that was lively chatter. It
For-
wasn't amusing,
for
but it was lively.
you speak for yourself. I was amused. Friends, I
Yes.
want to remind everybody
Yes.
that we are hoping to grow our Patreon family. Please go, if you are so inclined, to patreon.com/Robbie and Matthew. You can sign up for free and you will get some content. You could sign up for as little as $3 a month and get all the content. Access to our weekly hangout, access to my drawings, access to hard-hitting, incisive commentary from Robbie about illustration. Robbie, do you promise to be incisive? I just told people
don't.
that you
I
would be
Can't
incisive.
always.
No, you can't.
Sometimes I shared a chat on there that the two of us had where we tried to name my corner of the Patreon.
Your corner. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So mine is called The Right Stuff, which I think is pretty unoriginal. I'm sure there's
The
lots of
WRITE
Yes, okay, stop.
stuff.
Don't
I just wanted to
I
spell
know.
it out.
I'm sure
in case
there's
people
lots
didn't
of
get it.
writing blogs called The Right Stuff.
Yeah.
I feel a little disappointed in
Mhm.
myself. I'm gonna rename it when the right idea comes along.
Mhm.
But Robbie's is a stroke of genius. I wanted it to be drawing conclusions, right? But Robbie thought that was a
Yeah.
little too hoitly
Too
toitly.
easy.
So no, not drawing
So
conclusions.
Mine
It's-
is called Strawberry Fields Forever.
I mean, that's funny, right? I really
dumb.
don't like puns
it's so dumb.
because puns. Oh, what's up, Jay? Jasper's coming in for another. Well,
It's not time to dump
time
it.
to
It's
dump
not
it yet.
time to dump
But
yet.
Jasper, do you want to show us? You want to shake it up a little bit? You want to let people know what's going to happen? We've got pie plate here, and we have some whipped cream. But we need to get all the way to 150 Patreon members.
I feel
Friends,
like
we need to pick up the pace. We need to pick up the
All
pace.
right.
Tell your relatives, all of your cousins. Tell your cousins to join. I know some of you have lots of cousins. I know some of you have not yet gone over to look at patreon.com/Robbie and Matthew. There's just delightful. You know what? I wrote funny little descriptions of things. Go over there just to read the funny little descriptions if need be, just to gratify me for the time that I spent writing the descriptions. No, you may not.
No.
Go away. I'm going to call you when it's time. It's not Jasper time yet. Go back and away.
I do want to say, I did want to do
Yeah.
a shout out to
To-
Corey Woodard
Who?
writing in from
Where?
Whitmore Lake.
From
Aw, we
Whitmore
had such a
Lake.
lovely visit
Oh
in
my
Whitmore Lake.
gosh. All right. Now,
Mhm.
is Corey a teacher? Yes, it must be. Okay. Well, thank you, Corey.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Peter just made a very long. Can you
Mm.
please see what he said? I can't read
Oh, I
that
think I
while
can.
I'm doing
I
the.
can even show the
Wait, but
chat.
do we know that
Do
it's
we-
appropriate? Is
Mm.
Peter? What's going on here?
Oh,
Let's
look.
see. Okay. All right. What did Peter have to say?
Peter had to say.
Okay.
In the chatter category,
Yes.
I recently wrote to ChatGPT and asked, what do you know about the Busload bookstore? And the first sentence of its reply was, the Busload bookstore is a literacy initiative that involves authors and celebrities traveling on a bus to different schools and communities to promote reading and literacy.
Well,
Hey, ChatGPT, you
Well,
did
here,
a pretty good job.
if I'm an author,
Yeah.
the only other celebrity is you.
No, I think Dumbles is a celebrity.
Dumbles. Do
Yeah.
you think? I wonder where the celebrity angle came from. That's
Well,
really exciting.
Well, this was Peter's follow-up
Okay.
comment.
Okay.
Note authors and celebrities. I guess we know who the
Thank
celebrity
you,
is.
Peter. You and I are of like mind. We esteem Robbie highly. Robbie, can you check in our area
Uh-huh.
to see if our next guest is ready to join us?
Mhm.
I want to. Is he there? Is he ready to pounce on the?
Who's our next guest?
Our next
you
guest
have to
is-
tell me.
Oh well, I thought you knew. That is our esteemed board chairman,
No.
David Hornick.
He is ready to pounce on.
Is he? All right, shall we
Yes.
invite him on? I wonder where he's walking
Oh
around.
my goodness.
That was a little intense. We could have. All right, so David, you appear to still be out of doors. Where are you? Tell us.
I am at the Whitney Museum, having just speed walked through the Whitney Biennial, so that you all don't have to.
Well, I think maybe we would have enjoyed that. I want to first of all ask you: am I correct that you have traversed 7 time zones in the past 24 hours or so? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I started in Hawaii yesterday.
Yeah.
And made my way to San Francisco, met my wife, and then we made our way here to New York.
Because this seemed like the best possible place to do your end of the telethon, right?
Well, this is the thing. No, it's about proximity to your supporters, because as you were discussing, it's unclear to me how impactful the Zoom experience is, but if they can all put their addresses in the chat, then I'll come see them personally.
Oh, are you going to do it?
I'm just gonna, I'm gonna go visit each one of them.
Okay, all right.
Kind of bring some whipped cream. And
disincentive, David, I'm afraid that this might turn some people away.
What are you saying?
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
why are you insulting the chairman here on our interview?
Saying it's a little scary if you don't know.
Do I look scary to you?
Let's back up.
At a minimum, I'm going to visit Margaret and tell her how much we love her daughter.
Yay. She's the best.
That is true. All right. Now, people want to be, who is this man? Who is this man that we're talking to?
Yes.
Friends.
Fair question.
Behind the scenes in the Busload of Books, one of the most important things was figuring out how to make it all happen. I thought it was impossible. It seemed too expensive, too logistically confounding, and just too much of everything. Robbie believed, to her credit, but we had another friend, his name was David, who said, I like this idea, and I'm going to help you make it happen by offering...
Well, at a minimum, I was going to help you make it happen.
But you have saved us from so many terrible decisions.
I love this idea. I love this idea.
But here, your main job is to, I think you told me once, build awesome companies or make awesome companies. We are not an awesome company. We are not an awesome company. Awesome companies make all sorts of, good things happen in the world.
They do things. They progress. They have dividends.
They please.
I'm getting a sense. I'm getting a sense that you don't know what I do.
All right. So my question is, what made you decide to throw your considerable gravitas behind this ramshackle operation and help us avoid a series of terrible decisions? I think that was your primary role, helping us avoid. Yes.
Well, at least to opine. Ramshackle. I mean, I think just to be clear, like I am a venture capitalist. When I described the job to my mother, she said, "You've talked your way into a job that only involves talking." And I said, "Yes, perfect," which, as you well know, is all I'm pretty much good at. And luckily, the two of you are extraordinary at the writing thing and the illustrating thing and the inspiring kids and making them appreciate the world. And you present the world in a positive and glorious way and make people think, but mostly make people's hearts soar. And so when the question was, can I help you in the process of spreading that joy to all 50 states of this fine nation, to kids who otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to have that joy, to understand and appreciate what it means to create something that spreads goodness through the printed word, I said, oh, good Lord, yes, how can I help? And I've been doing that ever since. And anytime you call, I appear like a sprite.
It's uncanny. It's magical. Now, I have a feeling that you were not convinced we were going to make it up the first mountain in the Catskills. It was the 5th day of the tour. I was just reading my notes. It was September 5th. 6 days after we left, we were driving up a mountain in the Catskills. All of the alarms and lights on the dashboard went off, and we thought the trip was over. And I think you thought so too, didn't you? You had a moment of concern.
No, it was a little concerning how many misadventures occurred within like the first week of your journey. I thought if this is going to continue apace, they literally will be carrying their children and dogs on their shoulders from state to state.
As it
was fairly catastrophic. You learned how to keep the bus cool, how to avoid hitting things. You did have a final mishap with the broken windshield, which also concerned me a lot as you had to make your way home. But I knew you were resourceful, and by you, I mean Robbie.
Thank you. Thank you for that important clarification. You knew that I had brought Robbie along. Yeah.
At some point, mid-ish way through your tour, when you had made your way to California and you were parked out front, I got to see Robbie in action on the roof, literally on the roof of the bus, caulking potential leaks to avoid your children and yourselves being drenched while sleeping. So, was I concerned? A little concerned, but it's thank goodness that Robbie has spent her entire life on the tundra trying to figure out how to make things work with MacGyver-like resources. Yeah. Matthew, you provided very little in that regard, except for inspiration, and you did drive an astonishing number of hours.
Thank you. I feel you kind of saved it there at the end. So you were talking about the challenges of traversing the Alcan Highway, at which point a very large rock hit our windshield that was kicked up by an 18-wheeler driving 75 miles an hour on a gravel road. Yes. However, the other thing that happened that day is we hit a sizable pothole and your head fell off. If you are not aware, David has a bobblehead that sat on our dashboard looking proudly in the direction we were traveling, and in his head careened, just popped off. And what was sadder is we could not find it. There was just a little spring. Your head was nowhere to be seen. I think Dumbles found it in a shoe.
I was going to say, it had popped into somebody's shoe. Yeah. And that was the problem. We looked everywhere but inside of everyone's shoes.
So apologies for that. I feel like that we could have treated you with greater dignity.
It was so far along in the trip that, for me to keep my head that many miles, that many schools, at that point, I had traversed 50 schools plus one, plus the Havasu Pai Nation. I mean, I had been around the country and back. So I could live with that. Plus, I'd probably aged a great deal over all those miles, and you needed a new head.
You certainly got a lot of exercise trying to. But I've got to say, my one regret is that we did not remove you from the dashboard and bring you to Hawaii. I think that was really thoughtless of us. David, we just wanted to have an opportunity to thank you, to bring you into this community, and to share our gratitude with the folks that are on here today. So thank you for joining us. Please go back and see more art. Oh, what? Yes.
Well, I appreciate that. I, of course, adore the two of you. I think what you're doing is profoundly important. It's not just joyous, because of course it's joyous, but it is profoundly important, as this woman behind me seems to think as well. We'll rotate this way. Okay. But I do want to say this to all who are listening. I think it is important enough. I think it is inspiring enough. I am moved and excited and engaged enough that every dollar donated today and every pledge during the course of this year on Patreon, I am matching. So look, everything you all do is double that thing. And it was already amazing. It was already amazing that you were going to do it once, and now you get to do it twice. It is with great joy that I do that Pamela and I do that, to support the incredible work you do. We love you very much. So listen up, people. Got to go sign up on Patreon. You got to donate heartily. Make it count. We're excited for the kids.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. This, of course, is where I get a little teary because there are so many people who are benefiting from your generosity. And thank you. It means a lot to us, and it means a lot to the kids.
Well, stop the crying. This is a joyful time.
We love you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me. See you guys.
Bye. All right. Oh my goodness. I didn't think that I was going to get through this without I knew I wasn't going to get through without crying.
There's
All
not a section about Robbie crying. We have entered the Razzle Dazzle hour. It is 4:10.
Razzle. I have to
we have an
pull
exciting.
myself together.
I'm going to give you a
Razzle
little heads up. In 10 minutes, we are going to meet the delightful Becky Neiman,
Yay.
librarian at North Pike Elementary School in Summit, Missouri, and we are going to meet her student, Lindsay Bird, who we met when we were in Summit right before Christmas last year.
Yes.
So, friends, if you are just joining us, our board chairman, David Hornick, joined us on the stream, and he says that he is going to match every dollar that is committed to Patreon or donated. Robbie, maybe you should show the donation link. If anybody prefers to just make a one-time donation through GoFundMe or through our partner nonprofit Kent Cultural Alliance, you can make donations of $100 or above tax-free through Kent Cultural Alliance. So Robbie is going to, maybe you can put it up through the ticker down there, Robbie,
That's what I'm-
CNN style. So we'll leave this up for a while so you can see it. Of course, with Patreon, we are trying to build a community that we can communicate with you directly. One of the things that's frustrating about social media is that algorithms make it really hard for us to get messages and content to you directly. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Anything on our Patreon, you will be able to go to our Patreon and know that you're getting all the content. So we are going to try to bring you along
Give you some insider intel.
and just bring you along in our creative
Yeah.
adventures, send you little videos.
Yeah.
And we have the weekly chat. I think it's going to be really fun to do
Sunday
our weekly
snacks.
hangout Sunday snacks. Snacks are not provided
No, you have to provide your own
unless I'd be happy
snacks.
to send you an
everybody
egg.
a raw egg.
Friends, Robbie, can you check on the
I just
Patreon?
wanted to say,
and see how we're doing?
Butter Pockets 123.
Yeah.
You went to my school.
Oh,
Hello.
which school was it? Can
we
you
don't
tell
know
us?
what school you were at, and we don't know.
I don't
who you
remember
are 'cause
meeting someone
I
named
don't
Butter
know
Pockets.
anybody named Butter Pockets, but
So
tell us. Yes.
any membership on Patreon, think about your membership now is being doubled. If you sign up at $5 a month, you are giving us a $10 impact because David and Pamela Hornick have agreed to match everything that is donated through Patreon or through GoFundMe or through Kent Cultural Alliance. So just want to let you know, in addition to giving away books, and the books for phase 2 are going to be covered generously by Build-A-Bear Foundation, our partnership with Build-A-Bear and First Book. But there are so many other expenses to doing what we do. A lot of it is time. A lot of it is planning. A lot of it is keeping the bus maintained and on the road and traveling. It's travel expenses. It's hotel rooms.
I mean, the trick is we could do, authors make a fair amount of their income, not actually from books, but from school visits.
Most authors make more of their income
from school visits. So we could make money doing school visits at schools that can afford to have us, which is great. Those kids enjoy school visits. They enjoy all of the benefits as well.
All school visits are great.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
some communities don't have that opportunity.
Yeah.
And so the Busload of Books gives us the opportunity to prioritize Title I communities over paid school visits.
Yeah.
We need to visit schools to have our livelihood.
Yeah.
It's part of what we do as freelancers to make our life work. We have Alaska, we have books, we have school visits, we have all this stuff, and we hope that we remain, yes?
Well, I was just saying, but whatever, whenever we can prioritize a Title I school, we like to do that more because those schools would not ordinarily be able to have us, right? So whatever money that we can make through the Patreon, through donations, we can sort of replace a paid school visit with that money and do a Title I free visit instead. So that's really the aim for why we're doing fundraising. This phase 2 of the Busload of Books tour, which we haven't really
Phase
talked
2.
about in this
Okay, so in
section.
phase 1, we visited 53 Title I schools, all 50 states, plus DC, bonus school in Arizona, bonus school in Texas. There was this delightful little Title I school in West Texas that we had to visit because we fell in love with the teacher who applied, and we were going to be driving across Texas so many times for so many days. We said it would be scandalous not to stop in Fort Davis and visit those kids. The other school that we visited in Arizona that we didn't expect to visit, we were contacted by an attorney who advocates for a Native American tribe. And she wrote to us and said, could you come? Actually, she said, could you do a virtual visit with our students?
And we were like, we're going to be driving the bus everywhere. We could just come to you.
And she
Tell
said,
us where.
She said, okay, but how would you get to the school? And we said, we have a bus. The bus has wheels. We'll drive it on the road. And she said, no, you don't understand. Our school is in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. And this is the Havasupai School in the village of Supai, which has been at the bottom of the canyon for 800 years. And because of the pandemic, the school had been closed, completely closed for 2 years. All the teachers left. They were all from the Rim. They were all from other places. So they left in the pandemic. The kids had no formal education for 2 years. The school had just reopened, and we were the first outside visitors to bring programming to the school for about 2.5 years when we came. And it was the most extraordinary experience interacting with these kids. They were so hungry for the experience. They were so excited.
It was such an awesome visit. We got to, because we were there for an extended period of time, because we had to fly in and fly back out and managing the helicopter logistics. So we were there for an extra day, and we spent the evening with, we did a family engagement program. We did some workshops with the kids in the afternoon, and it was just such a wonderful, amazing experience. The kids were great. The families were great. We had such wonderful conversations. We felt like a part of things. So it was really awesome.
And this is the kind of visits that we are able to do when we can prioritize the experience over going to a school that can afford to pay us. So this is the kind of possibilities what?
But we were actually talking about what we're going to do this year.
I was just about to.
Oh, okay, good,
yes.
good.
So we got home. Robbie and I said, all right, let's go do it again. Let's go do another 50 schools. Let's just stay on the road and do this forever. And our students said,
our kids are not our students, our children. Our children.
Well, they are our young scholars.
Want to be students.
They want to go
in
to
a
school.
Regular school.
They want to hang out with their friends in person. Although most of the time they just sit on their computers and hang out with their friends in Chestertown on the computers. So I'm not entirely convinced. However, Robbie and I were also very tired. We also had to.
We have to actually write and illustrate
we
books.
Have 3 more books coming out that aren't published, or they're not published yet. That we have to make. It's such a drag.
Can't make them on the bus. It's a lot harder on the bus.
So we thought about all sorts of different models, and what we came up with was this. We think it is possible. It is exciting. It is feasible to visit 12 Title I schools next school year. We are going to do 6 in person with the bus, and we don't know exactly where that's going to be yet. It might be in nearby states. It might be a little further away. We are not sure. 6 schools with the bus, 6 virtual school visits, so that we can visit all different parts of the country.
That we can't get with the bus because it takes too long.
It just takes too long. Bus is very slow. We have to make books. Our kids need us, etc. So we're also excited, though. If you didn't listen to the segment about the research team, now because we have in-person and virtual visits, the research team is going to be able to compare the relative impact of those 2 different experiences. And if they learn that virtual school visits have even a fraction of the impact as in-person ones, it'll provide a lot of legitimacy because that is a much less expensive intervention.
Yeah. And it's much easier from our end, from the author illustrator end, to do those visits, right? It doesn't take up as much time. It's a lot easier to navigate all of those things. So we're interested in that. So there's lots of things, lots of potential for the research going forward. We're super excited about it.
We're really excited also about a partnership with our local schools, where we're going to be visiting local schools here in Kent County every fall on a longitudinal study where the research team is going to be able to measure the benefit of multiple school visits on the same population. So there's a lot to look forward to in phase 2. All we need now is your help in keeping the bus rolling, friends.
Well, so we just want to say that we have partnered again with First Book.
Yes, we
have. Who is providing the logistics for the books, which is genuinely the thing that I could not have dealt with.
And the logistics for the application process.
Yes.
They sent out an email to thousands of educators across the country about a week ago. Applications have been rolling
coming in.
At the end of next week, the application will close, and Robbie and I will have the pleasure and pain of trying to pick just 12 schools from that amazing group of educators in worthy schools.
So we're partnering with First Book.
Yes.
Again, thank you, First Book.
Thank you, First Book.
We're also partnering with Build-A-Bear again.
Yes.
And Build-A-Bear Foundation is going to be paying for the books that we are providing for free. We're going to do free books to everyone in the buildings once again, because that makes such a difference that everybody's in the same community. Everybody's getting the same thing.
Including
Nobody's
teachers.
feeling left out, including custodians. Whoever is in the building who wants a book is getting a book. So thank you to Build-A-Bear for that. That's a huge part of the cost of this kind of thing that is being taken care of by Build-A-Bear Foundation. So thank you to our partners.
Yes, thank you.
For that.
And thank you to you partners. I know there's lots of people on this chat who have already joined Patreon, who have made extraordinary contributions in the past. We could not have gotten this far without you, and we appreciate your support as we move forward. So let us now move forward into the next segment that I'm very excited about. Oh my gosh. I know that
Becky
our
and
friends.
Lindsay, are you ready for us?
Oh my gosh, come on, let's
We are
bring
ready.
them on the extraordinary duo of Becky Neiman and Lindsay Bird.
Oh,
Right. Let me
we
set the
are
stage here.
ready.
Let me set the stage. We
I
were
told
doing.
you.
Oh,
Look at
somebody
Build-A-Bear.
brought her Build-A-Bear. Somebody's Build-A-Bear is maybe a little bit nearsighted and needs a little bit of assistance. Let me introduce you to my friends.
Come on
Becky
up.
Neiman. I met Becky for the first time on the first telethon that we did a couple of years ago. She was a guest on that telethon. I said, "Who is this Becky Neiman?" And then I realized she was our prospective host at North Pike Elementary School in Summit, Mississippi. Becky started preparing her community for our visit about a year before we
even
got there.
Yeah.
We know from experience that the impact of a school visit is absolutely 100% based on how much the host teacher or librarian does to get her students, her community, her colleagues excited about the prospect, getting them reading the books, getting them excited about the opportunity. Becky, you did such extraordinary work to prepare your community, which is why it was one of the most extraordinary visits we had last year. Becky met us at a gas station on the outskirts of town, drove with us
in so that we didn't take the wrong route in the bus.
the night before our school visit. She arranged for us to appear in the Summit Christmas Parade. She brought lights, battery-powered lights, to deck out the bus so it looked festive. She brought fortune cookies for us to throw out the window as we drove through the parade. She
Decorative
brought
crowns and hats for
I mean,
us.
it was extraordinary.
Yes, it was the best.
I mean, I just want to talk about you, but I suppose we should also talk with you. So I just want to just start by saying what an extraordinary job you did. What an incredible educator you are. What a force for good in your community. We love you and respect you so much. And it is our pleasure to have you here as our guest today. And maybe we'll let you introduce Lindsay, since you know her better than we do. So go ahead.
Well, it was a pleasure and an honor and a joy to have y'all come to our school. And Lindsay has grown up at our school. I've been here almost 23 years.
Oh my goodness.
And so her mom was our CLU teacher, and now she's an assistant principal. But I mean, I knew Lindsay when she was a little baby bird. And so it's amazing to see her grow up as a reader in our school, and their whole family does whatever's needed to promote things that we need or help with. So when we got that email, I remember being on my couch and getting the email that we were selected. And I thought, oh my gosh, we only have a couple weeks to get ready for this. And then I realized it was going to be the following year. So we, like you said, we dove in, and we wanted to have that Southern hospitality and show you that our students love to read, and we like to try to find the joy in books. That's one of my main things. When I took over, I was a kindergarten teacher forever. And about 8 years ago, I started in the library, and I was so excited because reading was such an important thing in my own classroom. And now I was not going to be limited to just 24 students. I was able to do our 800 students.
Amazing. Amazing.
This is an important thing, I think, for people who are watching to be a little attentive to. Librarians are not just specific to a certain class, and so it's a different kind of educator than a classroom teacher, right? So librarians get to know kids as they're advancing through the school. They get to understand the things that interest the kid. They get to sort of be a liaison for the kid to the ideas that they're connecting to, the things that move them, the things that excite them, right? And so being able to access, there's a lot of schools that don't have libraries and don't have librarians, or they think that if it's just a library, then you don't really need the librarian, that the librarian isn't an important role. It is an incredibly crucial role, and it's one that we overlook. I think that certainly it's one of the first things that gets cut, I think. And so I just want to say how important it is for kids to have somebody who can be that connector to the big ideas and the great things that they can learn from books.
Yes.
So you're one of those people, Becky.
Well, thank you. But Lindsay is a third grader now.
What? Okay.
Yes. And her grade is a very, the dreaded testing that goes on in our nation. And so she's, her teacher and I work collaboratively together on reading and writing. And I know we've been talking a lot about writing. That's what she said when they have to submit things to me through Google Classroom, and they're seeing that process of when we want more from them, Matthew, we write in little notes like, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. And they're like, I've told you everything. And so it like you said, Robbie, to bridge that connection, because to see Lindsay as a reader from a first grade classroom with Miss Amy, and to see that the growth that she's had from first grade to now third grade. And when they come in and want certain books that are chapter books, but they still see those different books, picture books that they want to read. And they're like, but I can't read that because my teacher says it's not on their grade level. And I'm like, okay, we'll read it in here. And, because we all read things that we don't go into Barnes and Noble and they say, well, you're at this reading level, you cannot check out that book or buy that book.
Are you saying in a public feed that you're allowing scandalous reading in the library?
Oh yes. I just want them to read.
Okay, I approve. Whoa, what is that? I recognize that book. All right, I guess I shouldn't ask. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Have you read that book, Lindsay?
No.
Not yet. Okay. Well, I hope
Just
you will
the
at some
first
point.
book.
You just read the first one? Okay. Lindsay, tell us a little bit about what it was like. Do you remember when we visited? I know it was a long time ago, but can you tell us anything about that day and what it was like to have us in your school? I'm a little worried. She might not have had a good time. Maybe Lindsay didn't have a good time that day. What can you tell us? You did.
I just can't remember anything.
I know.
Did you like the dog? Whose class were you in, and what did y'all do to prepare for the class, for them to come?
We passed at Robbie and Matthew
Didn't y'all draw
bookmarks and stuff?
Yeah.
And did y'all draw Dumbles?
You did.
You did.
You learned how to draw Dumbles. Robbie sent along a drawing tutorial that schools could use to get students doing a little creativity.
But a lot of kids did them. It was super fun to see all the kids' drawings of Dumbles.
And often the Dumbles drawings would be hanging in the hallways, and we get to see all the different versions. And it's part of the point that we make, that even if everybody follows the same set of instructions or writes the same basic plot, everybody's story is different. Everybody's drawing is different because everybody's different. You, Lindsay Bird, there's only one of you in the whole world. Anything you ever create, you're the only person in the history of time that can make that thing. You are extraordinary. Yes. So I hope that you will tell your stories and make things, because nobody else can tell your story. All right. Now, I have a memory.
Yes.
Which is that when we got to North Pike, we parked our bus and Becky said, here, come on over here. And she led us into the first grade hallway. And I bet you were there, Lindsay. There were Christmas carols playing. The students and teachers were lining the wall.
Like
everybody was clapping and singing.
It was the best.
Oh my gosh. I'm not sure if I've ever felt happier in my whole life than that one moment.
It was the best.
And then there were decorations. There was Robbie and I were dressed in like elf costumes. And somebody was dressed like the Grinch, and I think that Dumbles was the Grinch's dog, and it was just the most extraordinary artwork.
You all had really decked out the whole school.
Pulled out all the stops. Yes. And then I think we had a little bit of a crisis with our projector. Remember, we had like a little projector situation, but Becky figured it out.
I just blocked that out of my head.
It was incredible. It was such an amazing day.
The night before, didn't we go out to dinner
with
you, Lindsay?
Yes.
I think that's when we met you.
Lindsay came. Becky arranged, of course, because Becky is Becky.
El Dorado.
That's right.
It was so good.
It was delicious.
Andy was scared of your dog.
Yes, I remember that. Becky, when we got to the parade gathering place, I remember your principal was there to greet us.
Yes.
And rode with us on the bus, and an assistant principal hopped on the bus and rode a couple blocks with us, and a couple students hopped on the bus, and then we had dinner. And the principal and assistant principal and you and various first grade teachers and students.
There were so many people at that parade. I know that Summit is not like a huge metropolis, but
everybody was there.
I feel like it was almost as big as the Macy's Day Parade.
Well,
it was.
I feel like
so many people. We drove a little ways and we were like, okay, this is a great parade. And then we got to
Times Square,
and it was insane. There were so many people out. It was amazing.
Oh,
so the community really turned out.
I'm guessing that Becky arranged that parade just for us. That's what it felt like. Yes, everybody
was in the parade. I don't know how there was anybody left to watch the parade.
Becky.
Well, we do live in a great community that always supports everything. We
Yeah.
just finished a readathon here at school, and before the readathon, we had a different fundraiser for teachers, and I think we made $8,000 for the teachers.
Oh, wow.
And then, like the next month, I was doing readathon, which I felt bad about asking for more funds, but we use that funds a lot for like really to get new books, because you know how expensive library books are.
Yeah.
I do have a budget, but you know, for that we raised another $8,000 that we can use, like author visits, incentives for reading. But like you said, our community really does support you. I feel like a lot of times, yeah, we're a Title I school, but if there's a need, a lot of times we do have people that we can call on and say, hey, we would really like to do that, and we get that support. So that is good. I do wish that we had an art teacher at our campus. We don't have art, and serving on the Busload of Books research board, or the team that it's amazing to see what different schools have being a Title I school. Like some teachers saying they didn't have a librarian, and then like we have a great music teacher, but I wish we had the arts, because when we do art activities in the library, or our Clue teacher, now Miss Wicker that taught Lindsay in second grade, is our gifted and talented teacher, and she's doing a lot with art in there. And she said, you know, they just seem so relaxed when they're painting. And I was like, yes, they do. So it does serve a purpose. And when y'all came, you really I shared with you through text that Lindsay's class, one of their writing assignments was why we like our library.
Okay.
I'm working on my national board renewal, and so I needed some feedback from them about what they actually liked. And one of them said that when y'all came, and your books, and how it was a fabulous day. And this is a year and a half, a year, 4 months later, and that y'all made that impact on them, because I didn't give them any I just said, what do you like about the library? And so
he also said we have the best librarian in the world.
Yes, you're too modest to put that point out there, but I think that was maybe the most important takeaway from that.
Kids and books, what y'all did across the world. I mean, if everybody could experience this, if every parent and different, even Lions Club and different organization, Rotary, could see what you're doing to get behind that mission, because students need to hear this, that people are out there caring for them. And so, I know you're applauding me, but I would like to applaud you and your mission.
Well, it's funny, we thought that the point of our trip was giving away books and free assemblies. And I know that that was a big part of what happened. But the number one comment we got from hosts after we left was, thank you for loving our kids. Thank you for coming here and letting them know that they're important and that they were your priority. And to us, if that's the thing that we could leave, a feeling of letting Lindsay Bird know how much we love her and how awesome she is and how much we believe in her, like books are great, and books gave us the context for being there. But yes, we all got to love each other. We got to pick each other up. And it sounds like the Summit community does that beautifully with your school. We felt that love when we were there. Another favorite moment of the year for me is as we were preparing to leave. First of all, we were crying because we had to say goodbye to Becky, but I had to crawl up under the roof of the bus to get some books out. And when I went up there, everybody from the school was outside, and somebody said, bus load of books. And then someone else said, bus load of books. And suddenly 100 people were saying, bus load of books. And then I got goosebumps all over my body. And hundreds of people were saying bus load of books, and we're crying. And then we have to leave and we're hunking. And I mean, who gets that? Who gets to be part of that kind of joy? Who gets to be part of that kind of collective excitement? If that's a gift that we could all share together on the days that we spent with these schools. Becky, thank you for making our visit to North Pike so incredibly special. Lindsay Bird, thank you for being part of that day, for having lunch with us. I remember you were wearing a green t-shirt that day. I do. I remember. It's true.
With the Christmas trees.
Yep.
Christmas trees made out of books.
Yep.
Those
I remember
are so
that.
cute.
We love you all so much. Please give our best to all of our other friends.
Yes.
And we will come see you sometime.
Oh, look, Courtney White says, just Miss Neiman. Dalton says hi in the chat. We need to see Robbie and Matthew again.
Oh, okay. Is this? Oh, thank you. Nice to see you, friends. Please, please spread the love around.
You know what? We're always in touch with Becky. We like text all the time.
It's just true. Becky's our pal.
Well, thank you. And like I said, y'all's pre-video and your videos that you sent after, they feel like, we know you, and you are, whenever they check out that books, they're like, do you know what they're up to, or when's their next book? Lindsay was just saying she had a question about, are you writing about all the places you went to?
Yeah, so I'm working on a couple of books about the tour, Lindsay. One is a book using quotes from kids that we met in every single state. So it's going to really be a book by the kids of the United States of America, lightly edited by Matthew and illustrated by Robbie. And I'm writing a book about our travels that's going to be for slightly older kids and about some of the lessons that I learned while we were on the road. And maybe we'll see, maybe more than that. By the time
it comes out, you'll be the older kid.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you're getting there, Lindsay.
How long it takes Matthew to write this thing?
I'm working on it. I start anyway. It's coming. It's coming. I'm so excited. Like Robbie said, we haven't really had any time to process this. We came home and we dived right back into all the things we had to do. So it's starting to rise up. I'm really starting to feel the memories, and I'm really starting to get excited to share the tour a second time. Phase 2 is a great way to do that, and also writing about our experiences. So we need to say goodbye to you two and move on to the rest of our lineup here, but we love you very much.
You guys.
All right.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Take care, friends.
Bye, Lindsay.
All right. Bye, guys. Will you check in for me to see how we're doing? I want to know if we're getting close to egg eating time. Friends, when we get to 100 followers on Patreon, Robbie and I are going to share this egg in raw form. Robbie is going to eat the whites. I am going to eat the yolk. We're doing this for you. We're doing this for literacy. You need to help us get there by moseying on over to Patreon. Friends, you can sign up for free. If you want to support us, we'd appreciate that too. But if you just want to be part of the community, you're welcome to do it. Robbie, what?
You have to look at this because I don't think it's updated.
Oh, is there something wrong with it? Is my phone maybe not in the right mode? All right, friends, we are going to be talking to our friend Julie here pretty soon. But first of all, Matthew has to draw. Oh, it's time for my next victim. Robbie, did it work? Do you have to move over to? And why am I mentioning my portraiture, friends? First of all, my portraiture is terrible, but somehow delightful. When I published Matthew Draws Volume 1 with an incisive, critical commentary by Robbie Bear in the beginning. Look, here is a critical essay by Robbie Bear talking about my drawings. Look at this. Talks about the history of my drawings, my approach, my very famous portrait of 2 cats. When we published this book and sent it out to our subscribers, do you know who the biggest fans of this book were? Professional illustrators.
Everybody was like, hey, this is Matthew's got kind of an interesting style.
Has a distinctive style. They said it's an important part of the art world repertoire, something like that. It's an important voice that must be honored and distinct. I think it was something like that. So friends, what I would like to tell you is if you enjoy my terrible celebrity portraits, if you want to guess who I have drawn, all you have to do is sign up to support us on Patreon. You will receive in your feed drawings by me that you can join with your fellow Patreoniacs to guess who they are on a frequent basis. Friends, also on Patreon, you will be able to join Sunday Snacks, our weekly live 7 p.m. Eastern Time hangout, in which we will wait. What's happening over there?
Yeah, this I don't understand how this works.
Are you going to be able to watch me draw?
But okay, you have to get your different picture.
I have my different picture. I'm putting it right over here.
Can you put it a little farther away from your drawing, just because I don't want to accidentally?
I mean, I do need to be able to see it. That's the problem. All right, friends, I challenge you. I implore you to figure out who I'm drawing here. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna try really hard.
Oh boy. All right, here we go.
I can't actually.
My technique, friends. I've studied this technique for years.
Why am I having so much trouble?
What do you want me to do? Turn this way a little bit more?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do?
This is hard for me. I mean, I'm glad to do this for you if it makes your life easier. But
here, wait.
What? Here we go.
This will make it easier.
What is it that you're doing that's going to make it easier?
I'm not mirroring. There we go. Then I can just point it at the thing.
Oh.
Wow. Once again, Matthew, you're getting so detailed. I'm so impressed with your.
Is this surprising to you?
Well,
Let's see. Uh-oh, that's bad.
okay. Guesses in the chat, please.
Yes, Matthew draws. The magic of Matthew draws is mostly about you, friends. I don't contribute much to this dynamic. You need to.
Oh dear. I mean, that person has a very, I don't know, very loosely contained hairstyle, a strong chin, high cheekbones.
I think I could be doing worse here. That's my own assessment of my contributions here. Let's see.
This is where things go wrong. You start adding
when I add the
wrinkles.
lines. Yeah.
Start adding John Ross Bowie. Is that who it is?
Who's John Ross Bowie? I've never even heard of
I
that.
don't know. Oh, Kate Middleton.
No.
I mean, that was a nice start. Ooh, evil Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, this is a very burly. Look at that.
I
Look
do-
at those strong shoulders.
I do like when drawing.
What's happening there?
That's his hand.
Oh,
His hand. Oh, I gave you a clue. It is a man.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I ask you not to count.
How many fingers he has? Uh-oh. It's the six-fingered man.
Got a belt buckle.
Right.
I should have stopped a while ago. I'm not good
I
enough.
don't know. I think you're doing really well, actually. It's hard to draw crossed arms. Uh-oh. What happened? Does he have a beard?
No, that's a shadow.
Oh. You shouldn't have revealed that.
Oh.
That looks like a scar.
Well, you asked me a question. I was
beard.
trying to.
Tom Hanks.
No.
No?
Poor Tom Hanks.
John Travolta.
I mean,
Ooh, I can see John Travolta.
I get that.
John Travolta has a more of a widow's peak, I think.
This eye should be much closer to the side of the head. I just want to point out that eye is not in the right place.
Willem
And
Dafoe. That's a good guess, too.
I see that.
kind of looks like Willem Dafoe.
There are some similarities between this fellow and Willem Dafoe in terms of looking a little bit off. I think I've taken it as far as I can. I think if I keep going, and I know when to stop, but I want to give my friends more clues. Yeah, should I give a clue? Should I? I don't know. I don't know if I can. Any guesses, friends? Anybody?
Well, once again, you did some interesting work on the lips. Do those lips look like they actually look?
No, those lips
No.
look like two green beans that got steamed for a little too long. But I do think that I have done what I can.
All right.
Friends, do we have any final guesses?
Any
or
final
is it time?
guesses on
It is
who-
not Michael Douglas, I'm afraid. It is not Robin Pattinson. I think these are all reasonable guesses.
Yes.
I
Okay.
probably should have drawn more idiosyncratic
Let's
people
see.
than
Then
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy.
I mean,
You actually
Do we-
captured his
Edward James Olmos.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I feel like, I don't know. See, that problem. Look, his eye is supposed to be right at the edge of his head and not out there floating.
Well,
in the
but you
middle,
did capture his very sharp cheekbones.
Okay, good.
I think
Yeah.
you went wrong with the lips again.
Yeah.
Those lips
Are
very
hard.
distinctive.
Lips are challenging. All right.
Christopher Walken.
Christopher
I mean,
Walken.
everybody wants Christopher
Oh,
Walken.
is that
to
Greg?
be- It
Greg
wasn't-
always-
it
Greg
wasn't
always
Greg
asks
for
about it.
once.
All right. So, friends,
Wait, I got to turn this off.
I have
Here we go.
drawn, and now I'm going to stop drawing. Unless there's any request, although it's difficult if there's request, then you know who I'm drawing. So I don't really want to put us in that position. All right, friends.
All right.
We need to now invite our
Julie.
friend Julie Gagney from Ferguson, Missouri. Julie invited us because hello, Julie. Let me brag about Julie a little bit here. Julie invited us to sleep in her home.
Yes.
She said, you guys have spent a lot of time sleeping in that bus. I have a lovely soft basement where we can put your children. We have lovely soft couches for putting some of your other children. We have an actual real live bed
She
for you
had
two.
beverages on
Beverages,
hand.
snacks.
It
We
was
felt
the
very,
best.
I mean, before we even got to your school, we spent a lovely evening with you and felt very, very cared for and loved.
Yes.
So thank you very much. Julie, you are in Central Primary School. Is that the official name of your school? And
Yes.
it's a special school because it only has 1st through 3rd grade. Is that correct? Or is it just 1st and 2nd?
Preschool to 2nd grade.
Preschool to 2nd. So that's a different. I think it was the only
It was
time
the
on the
only-
tour
mhm.
where we didn't have. So we did 2 Everywhere Wonder assemblies.
Yes.
Julie, walk us through the experience from learning that you were part of this. I mean, even the application process. Tell us about what it was like to be part of this experience with us.
It was kind of just like, I'm a big First Book fan. I use First
Yeah.
Book. And we have a local organization, First Book, through books through STL Kids, and I write grants through them, and they put actual books in our kids' hands every year.
Okay.
And so I feel very connected to First Book. And when the idea first came out about Busload of Books, I immediately signed up. I feel like a big part of my role is advocating for my kids to have opportunities, especially with literacy. So I applied, and I was so excited to hear back that we were selected. One of my good friends, another teacher at our school, Mrs. Riles, she also applied. So we had both applied for it, and so thrilled to get the opportunity. And we started preparing immediately, a whole year and a half, pretty much, before you guys even came to Missouri. We had the kids so excited because they really thought that they were celebrities. And I think one of the cool things that you guys probably don't get enough credit for is making the videos ahead of time. So like we could show the kids, like, here's Robbie and Matthew, like one of the last videos you sent us, you were like in a crazy snowstorm, and they were like, oh my God, it's snowing here too. Like, they really thought like you were coming for just them. And it made our kids feel so special that they were having this unique visit. They were getting books. They eventually got bears. Like, it was this like overwhelming joy that just like filled our school community before the visit even started, before you guys came to Ferguson. And then the day of, it was just amazing. Like, it was the best day I've ever had in education in 23 years. Like, the best day. Kids were excited. Teachers were excited. Families were excited. Kids got a hardback book. And I'm talking like kids in Title I schools, especially in my community, books are a luxury. Those are not things that are readily available in our students' homes. So being able to give them a hardback book and to meet the author and the illustrator that made that book completely changed the way my kids look at literacy. And they also see that this is now a career. If I'm a good reader and I'm a good writer and I like to draw, this could be a lifeline for me. So it really changed the way our community looked at reading and literacy and drawing. Drawing is now celebrated at our school. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Like, it completely changed our school community. It changed me as an educator, and it changed many of the people that I work with as teachers. It was the best opportunity that's ever happened to me for my kids, for sure.
Well, what an extraordinary thing to hear. Thank you so much for sharing that. It was an extraordinary day for us. I'm so sad that we had to stay for such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
That was the hardest part about this whole thing, was that we would have this incredible connection with these kids and these teachers, and then we'd have to go because we had to get to the next stop. So it's really heartening to know that even though we left, memories and lessons and enthusiasm remained. So maybe we have to content ourselves with that.
Yeah, I know. We wish, yes, when we said that we were going to do this phase 2 of the tour, we're like, but we just want to go back to the ones that we already did. We love them so much. Like, how can we do more? But we got to do more. And
our great hope is to do a year-long tour again when Jasper's a little bit older and the other kids are away to college. But yeah, it's going to be very hard not to just come back to Central.
At least drive by and stop in and say hi.
We're going to have to build in another
a whole separate itinerary of all of our old schools that we want to visit again.
So that was last year. That was last March that we visited with you. Do kids still remember? I know it's little kids, and it was, a long time ago. Do they still remember the tour this year? Is it something that's still
100%?
Yeah.
Yes, they ask all the time, are Robbie and Matthew coming back?
All right, we will let's make a video. We will make a video for those kids.
Guys, yes.
That is an easy thing to do. We would love to do that. Okay.
No, they still, they check out even though everyone got a copy of Everywhere Wonder, they check it out of the library. It's so cute. I'm like, you have that book at home? They're like, yeah, I just want to read it here. And I'm like,
oh, isn't that amazing?
They one student in particular, Jemiah, I think I sent you some videos of her. She's still writing books, brings me a book that she's written every weekend. I send her home with supplies and markers and paper and all the notebooks and things she could have. So the impact is huge. I mean, it's still felt today. Kids are talking about writing books, they're creating, they're drawing, they're reading more. Our test scores have gone up. Like, everything that you did has impacted literacy at my school 100%.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Julie. Can you help people watching understand some of the challenges that you face educating and caring for these kids from Central that might not be challenges that you'd face in a different environment. I just help people understand what it means to be a librarian in that context. What does it mean to be an educator in a Title I school?
So it's been my road. I've chosen this road for 23 years because I feel like I can make the biggest impact in a school like mine. For me, it means advocacy on a really, really high level. So our students deserve every opportunity, the same, if not more, opportunities that students in affluent schools have. And oftentimes it's heartbreaking, the limited opportunities that we have at our hands in terms of funding, in terms of, I mean, we're Ferguson, we're about 12 miles from downtown St. Louis. About 90% of my students have never seen the Arch because, you know, being able to be mobile in the community is an issue. Transportation, food insecurity is a big issue. We broke for spring break yesterday. Was our last day. So I have a week off, yay. But also the teachers were exhausted and we're tired and we're ready for a break. But the kids are sobbing when they leave school yesterday because we're a constant place of breakfast and lunch and love and kindness and play and activity. And oftentimes when our kids go home, they don't have that. They don't have secure food. They don't have a safe place to play. They don't have parents that have the luxury or opportunity to stay at home or be with them during a break or to travel or to do things that I was afforded as a young person growing up. So it's hard as an educator because you're tired, you're ready for a break, but you're innately sad because you know that the kids are going to miss out on things. They're going to miss out on you. They're going to miss out on food. They're going to miss out on their friends. They're going to miss out on things. And so I think as a Title I educator, that's so challenging because you take it home with you. You know, last night I crawl in my warm bed and I'm like, oh, I hope Marcus is okay. And I hope, you know, you think about all your students in a way that is beyond education. It's you care about them as people and as humans and what's going on in their family and how you can support them. So it's a job that doesn't end when the school bell rings and your mind doesn't ever stop, you know, wondering what could I do? How could I support? What could I do better? So I think the challenges in a Title I school are great, but the rewards are really great too. I really do feel like I make a difference. I feel like your visit helped me make a difference in my school community. And so the challenges may be a mountain, but I think with hard work, you're able to, you know, make some opportunities happen. We had, through my local First Book, which is Books for STL Kids, if anybody wants to donate to them, they're a great organization. I had a free book fair this week. And so they give me money through the First Book Marketplace, and then I purchase books, and the kids come shop and pick out books that they want. And kids are crying because they've never been able to pick out 6 free books. And so, you know, like that was a joy. It was a joy this week. It was fun and great and amazing. So there's challenges, but there's also like many, many rewards and greatness that happens in a Title I school.
But I want to point out that a lot of the things that you just mentioned only happened because you went outside of your job description and you sought out that funding and you built the relationships and you advocated for those kids. You said at the beginning, advocacy is not probably something that you are directly compensated for. And you're compensated for it emotionally, you're compensated for it because it feels good, but it's something else that you're being asked to do. And you talked about teachers being exhausted. I just want everybody listening to hear how overworked the educators in Title I environments are. Their classes are too big. Their resources are not enough. They're being asked to buy supplies with their own money. They are asked to do more than they should, but they do it because they love the kids. So I know how much you love the kids. I know you're willing to go all out for them, but it needs to be recognized that it's above and beyond, truly.
It is. And when you had Chloe on earlier and she was talking about supplies, it made me laugh because my local Walmart called me yesterday and they said, we got our back to school stuff in. Do you still want 300 sets of crayons? And I was like, I do. Yeah. Put me down for 300 sets of the 25 cent because.
But are you buying those crayons yourself?
Yes. Because that's not, I mean, like we put a school supply list out, but often our families just can't afford that. And that's not a slight on our families. They're working very hard to put food on the table and do what's best for their children. And I don't want them to worry about having to get crayons, but our kids deserve crayons. So somebody has to fill the gap.
So I want everybody listening to know there is this very unfair, wrong story about our nation's public schools, that they are somehow bad schools, or that the teachers there aren't as good as teachers in other places. It's absolutely wrong. The finest teachers, the people with the biggest hearts, the people who care the most about kids work in Title I environments. Wonderful things are happening. It's just harder than it should be, because the kids are coming to school with challenges that are not their fault, but that are very real challenges that stem from living in poverty. And teachers are being asked to do so many different jobs beyond their training and beyond the resources that are provided to support them, because they care so much. So I just want to applaud you and thank you. You are on the front lines of the most important work that is being done. Thank you for protecting these kids. Thank you for loving these kids. Thank you for teaching these kids.
The kids are the easiest part. I mean, they're the best. Our kids appreciate everything. They're so grateful and happy and joyous that is the absolute easiest part of the job, is just loving the kids and being there to support them. I mean, that's just.
It was so obvious in your community. Please give our best also to Jasper's wonderful teacher, Miss Harden, who we remember so fondly. I just remember her. This is Sydney Harden, who was kindergarten teacher, who hosted Jasper for the day. And she had this wonderful song and dance that she did while the kids were lining up at the bathroom. She was keeping them engaged and behaved by not yelling at them, but by doing that. Yeah, I don't really know what it was. She was clapping and singing and
call and response song.
It was so
and the kids were like
creative.
It was probably every letter has its name.
Yes, it was indeed every letter has its name. Let me see. You've heard this before, I guess.
I have. Recently, they're learning about the continents, so I've been hearing that through the hallways, which is pretty cute. No, she's a superstar, but our schools are full of superstars like Sydney. I mean, people that are choosing to serve in a Title I community, choosing to serve in an area that's underserved on purpose. And I think that that's often other educators might look down sometimes on Title I educators, but there are those of us that choose to do this because this is important work.
Our host in Georgia, Renee Bridgewater, said to us that she had come from a more affluent community earlier in her teaching career, but one of her colleagues, pointed at her and said, "Renee, you are a Title I teacher and you should be teaching in Title I school." And she said, "What does that mean?" And she said, "You put relationships first." And she said, for these kids, the most important thing is building the relationship, and all else stems from there. You can't just teach them before they know you and trust you, and they are willing to give you the benefit of the doubt because they know you have their back. And she said that is what distinguishes a Title I educator, is that they put relationships first. And that was really
that was the first sort of time we heard that. And then as our experience went on, seeing how important the connections are between our Title I educators and the kids that they care about and look after and take care of and do all of this for. It's not an easy job. It's not a job, I think a lot of people think that just the teaching profession in general is, people look down on that for whatever reason. But then on top of that, like you said, Title I teachers, it's incredibly challenging. It's a hard job. And you all deserve all the respect more respect than you get. Yeah, just all the respect for you.
For Title I schools. I mean, I know you're sad that the tour is over, but I'm so glad it's continuing because it makes a difference. And I'm glad that there's being research done. I was so excited to participate in the research. I'm so geeked out on the research. I'm fascinated by it because when the initial research first came out at Washington College, I think one of the most important things I heard was Dr. Nick Garcia talk about the shift that we need to think about in terms of a deficit mindset, thinking about students in Title I schools. We often think about what is in terms of a deficit mindset, what are they missing? What do they not have? And he was like, actually, the research is showing that these kids don't have a deficit mindset, that they want to learn, they want to be involved in literacy. And like, to me, their attitudes and those little nuggets that came out of the research is fascinating. It's something I always knew, but it's published research that can be used. And I think that's really fascinating. And
so so that piece of research, I just want to reiterate to people who haven't heard this, is they tested, we not interviewed, what's it called? We surveyed. Thank you. We surveyed the kids before we got there, then immediately after our visit, and then a month later. And the interesting piece was it was about your interest in reading, writing, and drawing, the 3 separate areas. And the interesting piece there was that even before we came, the kids measured themselves very high on an interest in all 3 of those categories. And a lot of times we think of Title I communities as not being interested in reading or not like being especially motivated. The thing that this study showed was that before we even got there, kids were super excited about reading and writing and drawing, and just aren't being met with opportunities to do it as much as they want or as much as they can.
The research also showed, though, that it was the younger kids that had the higher scores on those levels. And if their interest is not met, it fades as they get older. So there is a moment, a very critical moment right at your kid's age in your school right there where they need to be met with the opportunity to
really engage.
Yeah.
In a way that they, that they are not.
We lost Julie. There she's
You're
back. Okay. So in any case, Julie, thank you so much for spending this time with us. No, we see you. You're back. You're back. We probably should let you go. I know you probably have things to do. We appreciate the time that you've spent, and we will send your kids a video checking in and letting them know that we're thinking about them, because we are. So, all right. Thank you very much, Julie.
Bye, Julie.
Thank you to everyone who has stuck with us so far.
I just see that Mary Ritz has.
Oh, Mary, we love you. Mary is our host at
West Virginia.
Shortline Elementary School in Reeder, West Virginia. When we were coming to visit her school, Mary asked the cafeteria staff to prepare, to deviate from their menu and prepare pepperoni rolls, which are a delicacy in West Virginia.
We had never heard of them.
The kids were shocked.
The kids were so offended that we were like, what's a pepperoni roll?
We'd never had one before.
Yeah.
So I ate my pepperoni roll. They were very delighted. And it was another wonderful visit. We had wonderful visits all year long, friends. We are so sorry that we had to come home, but also glad that we came home, because it is time to move on to phase 2 of this work. Phase 1 was a year on the road with our family, visiting a school in every state. Phase 2 is a more targeted approach that will allow us to be parents, to be creators, and to still serve 12 Title I schools a year. Thanks to Build-A-Bear Foundation, they are funding the books that we are giving away, roughly 6,000 books this year. Thanks to First Book, we have an active application happening right now. Schools all over the country received applications, and they are trying to put their best foot forward, telling us what the visit would mean to their school. And Robbie and I will have the very challenging job in a couple of weeks of deciding which 12 schools we're going to visit. Something I'm very excited about. We're going to be partnering with First Book to host a webinar. So any teacher that applied to the tour is going to have access to a free virtual webinar that they can share with their community. So everybody that applies is going to get the opportunity.
Webinar makes it sound very formal. It's a presentation.
It's an assembly.
It's a school visit.
No, we're not going to be talking about taxes and such. So there's a question. Oh, Tamara Wolf. I think that's our friend Jude.
Oh.
Yes. Hello, Jude. Nice to see
Yes.
you. We're excited about it too. So friends, we have so much.
I just want to answer a question.
Oh, yes.
That a lot of people have been asking.
Let's hear it.
So Peter asked,
Yes.
where do we send our local elementary school people if they want to apply to your program?
I'm afraid that the applications all go through First Book. And that is part of our agreement with them. And it's actually part of just the logistical.
Whittling down and me not having to research whether a school is Title I or not.
So the thing that they should do is apply to First Book.
Yes.
And then next year, they might be invited to attend. We are planning to do this as long as we can keep doing this, friends. This is very important to us. It's going to be an ongoing effort. It's part of we're trying to build a base of support through Patreon. So another way to explain what our goal is there is if we can develop a monthly fund that we can use to pay for our time and expenses related to the bus and expenses related to executing the logistics that there's a considerable amount of work that happens behind the scenes. The
Yeah.
school visit itself is a small amount of the work that goes into making all of this possible. So if you contribute to our Patreon, what you're doing is you're allowing us to prioritize Title I school visits over paid school visits and other communities where we could do a lot of good, but where that opportunity already exists. Yeah. And in our nation's Title I schools, they're not going to get an author visit. They're not going to get an all-school book giveaway, at least not very often. And so that's work that we can do, that you can facilitate, that you can be part of by joining our community. Give it a try. Give it a try for a month. See what you like. See if you enjoy the additional contact from us, the ability to hang out on Sunday evenings. See if you enjoy our updates about our travels and whether it feels good to be a part of them. We would love to create a community of people who believe in this work, who care about this work, and who want to travel in the bus with us, so to speak. You'll be an honorary member of the bus crew.
You should have done telethons. You should have been doing this your entire career.
Why are you?
You're so good at it.
Well,
you sounded just like, what's his name?
I don't know what's his name.
The guy who
Robbie,
always was raising
right now
the money.
is not the time for the compliments.
I'm just
right
saying.
now is the time.
I don't know how the phones aren't ringing off the hook.
Well,
isn't that what they
we
used
don't
to say?
have any phones.
We've got phones ringing.
This is the time when
Here
the
we've got our
Patreon
call from
memberships are supposed to be rolling in. Now, friends, if you're not able to spare any dollars, just go over to Patreon and join for
you
free.
don't have to
That
pay.
way we can
Yes.
communicate with you when we need to share important messages with you. You can chat with us and you can get access to some of the posts. Not all the posts. All the posts are for the people who give the money. It's just kind of the way it works in this world. Unfortunately,
also, some people don't want all the posts.
Some people don't want any of the posts. If you don't want any posts, but you're like, I want to support you a little bit, go over to GoFundMe. Robbie, please put the ticker across. Put the ticker across the bottom, because I am going to try to, friends.
This
our chairman
or the Patreon.
No, that ticker. Okay. Our chairman, David Hornick, has said he will double any contribution that comes in during this telethon. So if
you know what he said,
I know. Did he mean that?
I know. I don't want to publicize it, but he said it himself. I think
this year.
For the whole year,
Yeah.
for anybody who joins the Patreon, he's going to double your.
Anyone who joins the Patreon this year. So if you're not ready today, if you don't feel like going to patreon.com today, but if you wake up in the middle of the night next Tuesday and you say, I'm ready to pull the trigger, I'm ready to be on the Patreon, then friends, David Hornick will double your funds because he is our chairman, because he convinced us not to do many foolish things. We wanted to add all these little side adventures and like added benefits, and he was like,
those are all things that we want to do, but we would have never been able to do. He was very sensible.
I know why Jasper is here. So we have a very important decision to make. We have not.
We haven't met our Patreon goals.
We have not met either our Patreon goals. So we should not eat this egg.
But I mean, you really want us to eat the egg, don't you?
I don't think we're going to eat the egg. We didn't meet the egg goal, but I don't want to disappoint Jasper. I think Jasper should be able to put pie in.
You're just trying to get out of the egg.
No, I'll eat the egg. All right, here we go.
Oh.
Now, what are we the type of people who live up to our? I don't know. I'm not supposed to eat this egg unless we met our goal. We did not meet our goal. All right, here. Lift it up. People have to see that it's an actual.
That's disgusting.
All right, Robbie.
Oh. Am I really?
You know what? I think what we're doing here is we're trying to inspire people to eat the egg. All right, so I'm just going to have to eat my yolk part out of this.
Eat it out of this.
Oh, is there a little shot glass?
I mean,
all right, people, we're doing this. We're doing this on faith, knowing that you, after you see us, it's so gloopy. You are going to here, Jasper. Go put this in the trash can and then come back.
There's legitimately grody egg whites in
there. All right, here we go. Yes, Aaron, it is gross. Don't judge me. I'm doing this for the children.
Wait, I just want to say, this is something that some people do.
Rocky Balboa.
Like Rocky did that.
We're not going to do a prize fight. Our friend Melissa does not want us to eat it.
Tell me why he did it.
Why? Because it was like made him tough and strong.
Was it for power?
I think it was to make an interesting scene in a movie.
No. Do other people do it?
I don't know. Is this good for us? Are we going to do this? I'm doing this for you, Lindsay Bird. I'm doing this for you, Becky Neiman.
Christina,
for you, Chloe Grady. I'm doing this for you, Nick Garcia. I'm doing this for you, Sarah Clark Teresa. I'm doing this for you, Julie Gagney. You, Mary Ritz. You, all of our friends all over the country. I'm eating this egg yolk because I believe in you. I appreciate you and I love you.
Oh God.
That was good.
Wait,
that was good.
Can you put more? No, don't drink it all, because I need some after I'm.
There's plenty in here.
Mine. I just want to say,
I believe in you.
Oh my God.
That was too loud.
I just want to say to
yeah,
Rich McGee, who just joined and has no idea what he just stepped in on.
I just ate an egg yolk.
And I have the egg whites.
I wasn't supposed to.
Can you open this up so that?
Sure. Robbie, are you afraid?
I'm
All right. You know what? I'm a cumulative tea bagger. Look, I add the tea bags. All right, here we go. I don't want to put it over your keyboard. Okay. Move it this way a little bit. All right, there we go. All right. It tastes really good when you have that many tea bags. Are you ready? Are you ready, Robbie Bear?
I don't know. I hope
just
I
do
don't
it. You got to do it. Robbie doesn't like egg whites.
You have all kinds of shells in here.
Oh, it's too late. You just got to do it. You got it. Do you want me to eat? Do you want me to do it? Do you want me to do? All right, here we go. 1. Oh no. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Robbie Bear, drink that egg white. Oh, did you love it? You did not love it. She did not love it. Oh, that was for you. That was for you and you and you and you. That is our commitment to phase 2. No, I don't think we're going to do the pie, buddy.
The tea tastes good. It's good that you put all those tea bags
right?
in.
I think we will have, when we get to our goal, how about this? When we get to our goal of 150 Patreon subscribers, we will have a special episode.
I think I'm going to cry. That was so gross.
Robbie, you're so good. We need to rally here for the end. You need to be smiling at the end of the telethon. We're not going to put pies in the face today. We are going to... When we
wait.
What?
Look at Jasper.
Jasper, wait.
Jasper, come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. If you want to do it, you only have 2 minutes.
Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it? Okay. All right.
Just
you know what?
We bought all the supplies. We're not gonna hold on to this for the next 3 months.
The blanket.
The blanket. Here's a blanket right here.
No, this is the blanket that was made to be soiled.
Oh, this is
the
the
special
puppy
dog
pee.
blanket.
This
All
is
right.
a puppy pee blanket.
How did I open this?
All right.
All right.
Oops.
We're setting a terrible precedent here.
I know,
We're telling you people that even if we don't meet our goals,
we'll do the antics.
Yeah, all right. But this is for our son. This is for Jasper.
Yep.
All right, Jasper. Now here, I think we can just do one.
Yeah,
right,
we don't need to fill up.
All right, we'll
All right,
save the
here,
other
hold
one.
it up here.
Can we do the
Jasper.
Extra creamy. Yeah. So I'm
Come
going to
over
do
here.
this.
We're doing the extra cream.
We're doing
Jasper,
extra
come over
creamy.
here.
Yeah. Here we go. Here, give me this. All right.
And how
Friends, while we are getting our faces covered in pie, remember that any contributions through Patreon or GoFundMe or Kent Cultural Alliance will be doubled. All right, you got it here. I'll push this to the side, and you doubled, I say. And then, oh boy. All right. Wait, this seems like a bad idea. I don't think this. Okay. Oh. All right.
I should move my keyboard out of the way.
All right.
Wow, that's what's. This is all that's in a single container.
I think that's sufficient. All right,
I feel
Jasper.
like it should be more than
whose
that.
face? No, I'm gonna leave my. Yeah, I'm gonna remove my glasses. All right, here we go. Thank you very much, Melissa. All right, whose face is this going in? Who deserves? Wait, which parent do you think should have a pie in the face? It's certainly not me. I think it should be your mother. I do not deserve a pie in the face. Why? Whoa!
You got both of us.
It's kind of delicious. All right.
Oh my gosh. Well, now look who's got the pie in his face.
Oh, all right. All right. Right. Let's get a picture.
Oh
let's
my
get a picture.
golly.
Where's my camera?
I don't know. I don't know where anything is.
Wait, Jasper, come back. Come back. No, come back and get a picture first. Okay. And then you can show them. All right, come here, friends.
Pretty tasty.
All right, here we go, Robbie Bear. Here, over here. All right, you'll see that on the internet later. Friends, can I put my glasses back on now, Melissa?
I mean,
this has been a delight and a joy to spend this time with you. If you are interested in learning more about what's happening in your own community, I can guarantee that there are schools near you that have similar challenges to the schools that we visited on the tour. There are Title I schools all over this country, 47,000 Title I schools across the United States.
There is one nearby. Even if you live in a fairly well-to-do community, you will discover that there are Title I students.
We cannot visit them all.
Yes.
We cannot. We want to, and we cannot visit them all. So we, as a group, as a nation, need to band together and do better by our public school students, by our public school teachers, by our education system across the board. Friends, we are going to keep doing.
I'm not sure how you can take us seriously. Look at Matthew.
I do take.
He has on his nose and on his chin. I got some dripping into my eye.
Bobby, I'm trying to have a stirring finale here.
I know.
I want everyone to take me seriously and treat me with the dignity I deserve with this cream all over my face. We are going to keep doing this work because we believe in this work. And we appreciate those of you who believe in this work with us. Thank you for everybody who spent this time with us today. We love you. This is not a problem we can solve by ourselves. We need your support. We all need to stick together. The kids need us. The future needs us. Thank you, everybody. We had a great time today. Thank you for our teachers. Thank you, Lindsay Bird. Thank you, research team. Thank you, David Hornick. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Have a
Good
good
night.
evening. Go watch the basketball. We're going to go have Alden Swanson's 16th
Yeah.
birthday party now.
We have to go. Oh, you should show everybody her cake. Can you go run and get her
Okay,
cake?
I'll go get her cake.
Matthew made the most beautiful cake. I think this might be an award-winning cake. We spent last night painting Alden's bedroom. She finally has her own bedroom now that we got back from the tour. She was sharing it with her 3 brothers before. We painted her bedroom. Matthew had to build a bed this morning at 6. And then look at this beautiful cake we made.
Here is
Alden's. Matthew, you did such a good job on the
you,
decorations. Look how beautiful that is.
All right, we're going to eat the heck out of
The
this
famous
cake.
Jell-O
More whipped
cake.
cream. More whipped cream. This is
You know
real
what?
whipped cream. Yeah.
I'll publish the recipe for the Jell-O cake on the Patreon.
And
So if you guys want to make a Jell-O cake,
Jell-O cake.
you
All right,
can.
it's time to go. My mother's here. She wants
right.
to feed us.
All right.
All right, friends. Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Sorry.